Hello, everybody. Mega ZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting podcast episode. That being my ZardCast episode 111. And my goodness, man, this is going to be one heck of a show right here, though, because we're coming right off the heels of that crazy Nintendo Direct. And, man, we got some stuff to talk about, Steven. How's it going, man?
It is going good. The direct was certainly a direct that I enjoyed it, but like the talk online, as we'll get to, has been interesting. It's a very interesting week that happened while we were gone.
Yeah, no, it certainly was really interesting. And you know what? I'm like, whew, goodness, there was a whole bunch of announcements that they had to talk about in that show, and just kind of give a little preview of everything that we're going to wind up demoing for everybody out here for this one dedicated ZardCast podcast. We'll talk about what we've been going through and playing outside of the stuff that was announced in the direct. We'll talk about those games when we get to that segment of the show. We'll also talk about a couple of things in the PlayStation realm, because I want to say a few things on that 007 direct. Not a whole bunch. I say direct, state of play. You know what I mean by that. And then address a few PS6 rumors, and then everything else will be fully dedicated towards that Nintendo Direct. And that's going to fill up the whole show, because Nintendo, they weren't pulling no punches with this presentation right here, though. And, man, we got ourselves a good old fat one today, though. So we might as well go ahead and jump up in it, though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up over into, well, we don't have a pop culture segment thing once again. So we're going to skip over that mess, though. But then we're going to jump over to now what we've been playing. All right. Shoot, actually, what the heck? Okay, there we go. I don't know why. It's been a while though. Anyway, Steven, there's been quite a bit of games coming out, and there's gonna be a whole lot more coming out once we hit that big major month of October, though. But outside of what's been announced in the direct, we'll circle around to that later. What else have you been playing these past couple of weeks?
So I went and I kind of replayed slash actually finished for the first time Hollow Knight, which I didn't really have the best first impressions of. But I went back and I finished Hollow Knight and I really liked it. I kind of did not give it a chance when I last played it. So I
Hmm.
finished Hollow Knight. It's a really fun fuck Metroidvania. Sorry, really fun Metroidvania. Really tight level design. They definitely like the level design is really well made and it's not really doesn't really feel. I don't know. When I first played the game, I felt at first it felt like a little aimless, but yeah, just searching around constantly and doesn't really guide you that well. But really, I just had to get good and realize where I'm supposed to go. The only thing I don't like about Hollow Knight is that you have to like buy the map. I like either finding the map somewhere or just having it, because if I keep dying and I can't buy the map, then I gotta run around aimlessly for currency to buy a map.
Hmm.
Because that game's kind of like Dark Souls, where you die. Well, I guess comparable to Dark Souls slash Shovel Knight, where you die and you have to make it back to your gold and reclaim it, or else it's gone.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like those kind of games. I can somewhat vibe with it a little bit. Sometimes it will get annoying because sometimes the repetition of having to constantly go back and get your stuff though.
Well,
Huh.
it's the new era of lives in video games. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like the evolution of a live system. Where yeah, you don't have to constantly restart the game when you keep losing, but you will be punished and you won't be able to do as much cool shit. Which I think is a good reward. Like yeah, you can constantly lose in Hollow Knight and keep losing all your money and still beat the game, or you can save it up, play good, and get rewarded by having actual currency to use. A lot of games are like that, but still, like it's getting good at those games is integral. They are meant to be mastered and overcame. And Hollow Knight's fun. I started playing Hollow Knight Silk Song, and I'm already definitely enjoying it more than the first game. It runs beautifully on Switch 2, by the way, 4K 60. I played it a little bit in handheld mode because it's 120 FPS in handheld. It looks so good. It's genuinely Zard. I don't know if you care about those games. I know I know you've played Metroidvanias before. I don't know if those games seem like something you'd like. They're definitely hard, but I would recommend them for $15 and $20 respectively.
Yeah, eventually I might get around to playing. Maybe not Hollow Knight. I might just jump straight into Silk Song, whatever.
I
Though
would not recommend that personally.
I've seen other
Like I
people saying different. They're like, no, the way how Hollow Knight, I guess based upon the improvements they did from Hollow Knight to Silk Song, I've seen other people saying, no, just go straight to Silk Song because it's a
Silk
little more
Song is
streamlined.
Silk Song is much harder. I feel like you need a primer for the controls and how those games are designed first.
But if you get
I don't know.
yourself set in the way how Hollow Knight plays and Silk Song plays slightly a little bit different, or it kind of throws you for a loop and get you right out the gate, then I'm like,
It
well,
it plays similar enough. It's very similar. I don't know. I feel like it is like the type of game where you can either play one or the other because from what I've seen so far, besides the one singular character they share, there's not that much similar between them
hmm.
story wise. Those games have insane story, by the way. I'm not even gonna get involved in that. Great games though. Besides that, I have been playing some other games. I'm gonna be playing. I just recently got a PS2. I'm going back and I'm getting more old consoles. Got a PS2, got a controller, got a retro tank, so I can like cat. I can. It will look really nice on my
Oh,
TV.
being able to play it on like HD TV essentially is what you got.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna be 1080. What? No, it's either I think 480 or 720. I don't know. It will be as long as it looks pixel perfect. That's all I care about.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
And it's definitely gonna look nice
So
no
are you
matter
mostly
what.
just
And
collecting to collect, or you'll? I know you'll play some of the games you get, but like, will you really go through
I'm
and play all of them?
all right. Yeah, basically, I'm gonna at least for the PlayStation, like Nintendo. Yeah, I'll admit I collect some of those because I'm a fucking Nintendo fan and I like collecting. But like games I'm getting on PS2, yes, I plan on playing most of those. Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3, I'm getting. I've never played those. God of War, I've never played those. Stuff like that.
I gotcha. No,
I'm
yeah,
definitely interested in a lot of those types of games.
I like how you're getting like what is it? I think that was a sixth generation. Like you're getting a sixth generation kick where you start off with GameCube, now you're messing around with PS2. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
getting OG Xbox.
Okay.
It is the same thing. Any OG Xbox game I would want is on Series X, I think, or on PC. What OG Xbox games are there?
Oh, I don't know. I was just making a nod to like you're basically going around doing all of them except for
Well,
what you
yeah.
ain't gonna mess around with the Dreamcast, but yeah, that's probably about it.
I don't know. I think eventually, one day, Dreamcast might be funny to own, but like, I don't know. Like, I can't think of what I would really get on Dreamcast that would really be worth getting specifically on Dreamcast.
Yeah, because I mean most of those other games they got moved to GameCube, so I couldn't really see myself getting it. I mean they could throw it
I
as
don't
a
even know
novelty
how.
thing into like NSO if they wanted to do that, but I ain't gonna mess around trying to get actual hardware for that stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know how I'd go about like capturing something like that or
Ugh,
just any of that.
yeah.
Probably some kind of device. I don't know. The Dreamcast, it might actually be. I don't know if it's cheap or not. I don't know how. I know it didn't sell well, but it also probably doesn't really have that much demand.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing about Dreamcast was the weird like VMUs or like the little screens on the controllers.
Oh yeah, those little
It
tiny little displays that showed off a little bit of
it
information
was
or whatever you're doing when you're playing it. Yeah.
it was trying something neat, but it really just kind of came out in the wrong era.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I
Like I
know.
feel like if it like I was gonna say Sega needed that when they had the Saturn out. If they had that instead of the Saturn, things might be a little different today. Either way, though, retro gaming has been fun. I'm definitely enjoying playing all these retro games. I'm gonna be playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound soon enough. And this is a little random, I know, but I went back and I replayed Kirby Star Allies.
The heck?
I don't know why. I just did. Because I was on some kind of fucking whim. Okay, it was on some kind of
As
like
much
whim. I just
crap as
played
you
for a
give
reason.
that game, and you said that, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I just went and replayed it, and I don't know. It's still as mediocre as it always was, but the music and the final boss are fucking awesome. So whatever.
I'll agree with
And
that.
then the last game I am playing is Digimon. I'm playing Digimon Cyber Sleuth, which I'm having fun with it so far, and I'm kind of playing that on and off.
Hmm. Okay, okay. I like how you mentioned Ninja Gaiden Ragebound because I think for me mostly, at least this past week, it's been mostly just playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound because I finally picked that game up because Steven, when you at me on Discord saying, "Hey, they finally released a patch for it for the 60 FPS," I was like, "Oh shoot, now I'm gonna finally buy it." So yeah, so
What do you
I
think I said? Yeah, I was like,
yes,
oh my god, I can
I was
finally
just
play
waiting
it.
on that because of course with it at first I only knew about it releasing digitally, so I was like, "Oh okay." Well, I don't have to pre-order this way out in advance or nothing like that. I just get it the day of launch. Then I heard instantly it was 30 FPS on Switch and Switch 2. It didn't matter if you were playing even on the Switch 2 and the competition like the PS5 and all that. They had 60. I was like, knowing good and well, they're probably gonna update this mess for 60 at least for Switch 2. There ain't no way. So I just put it on the back burner, focus on other games at the time. I think I might have still been playing Donkey Kong for a moment. I don't know, but yeah, so I waited for the longest time. They finally put that patch out, and I dove head up in there. I think I'm about 7 or 8 levels in. I'm probably halfway through the game at this point. I've been trying to blitz through it though. But I'll say this now: this is probably going to be one of my indie front runners. The only other indie game that might top it might be Mina the Hollower. It could be Silk Song too, but I just didn't have time to put time into playing that game just as of yet. Maybe at some
Wait,
point
you
I'll do
own
it.
Silksong?
No, I'm debating on picking that game up. But regardless, though, I know two indie games I will play from start to finish by the time I get down to the end of this year. It'll be between Ninja Gaiden Ragebound and what would be Mina the Hollower. And right now, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, it's everything I loved about NES version of Ninja Gaiden, just souped up by like 10 levels, like just a modern take up on it. I like the action,
I
getting in and
tried.
out, swooping and swiping and slashing. And when you think you about had all of the controls under your belt, like what you can use in your toolkit, they hit you with more and more and more. And I'm like, whole freaking shoot. You can just move around, duck and weave, wall grind, wall slide, pick and roll, do your hacking and slashing and stuff like that. Then you get tag teamed up with the woman protagonist as well, and then she has her own pseudo type of moves. I had to do a little bit of button mapping because I always kind of wanted to keep my head on the swivel in terms of like when I want to jump, when I want to slash with a sword, or when I want to throw out a little bit of katanas here. I say katanas. Oh gosh, what are those things called? Like throwing knives, basically on the fly or anything like that. This game's a chef's kiss. Like this is what I was looking for a Ninja Gaiden game that has its origin based purely on those NES original ones. This is just a chef's kiss.
I played. I just really quickly tested out the 60 FPS patch. It is beautiful. I genuinely. It is embarrassing that they released the game in the state they did. It's a 2D. It's a fucking pixel art game.
I don't know.
What could possibly
I honestly
be
don't
going
know.
on under the hood?
I really
Like
don't
what
know
could
because that 60 FPS patch is not just only for Switch 2; it's for Switch 1 as well. So I honestly don't
Well,
understand
no.
why.
Does
But
it? I don't even know if it runs flawlessly at 60 FPS on Switch One.
I don't know if it runs flawlessly, but it shoots the target 60 on original Switch 1 hardware as well. So I don't know.
Still better. Still fucking better because oh my god, it just feels so sluggish at 30. For a
Yeah.
2D platformer, you need it to be 60. Like 2D platformers need to be 60. I guess the only example I can think of is like the old I think the original Sonic games were 30 FPS.
Oh,
But like
yeah.
the difference is that those games were designed for it. Well, Ninja Gaiden definitely was designed for 60 FPS because it's 60 FPS everywhere else,
No,
which is
I get that.
genuinely embarrassing. I'm pretty sure even on PS4 and Xbox One, it's 60 FPS.
Hmm. No, yeah.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna play that soon though. I'm glad you're enjoying the game. I'm gonna definitely try it myself soon.
Yeah, so I think it's been mostly me playing that game, and then the other one, which I managed to beat within the span of a week, Metal Gear Solid Delta. In which case, it was a game I wanted to get, and then I just didn't pick it up at launch because I think some other stuff was going down. And then our good buddy Sonic, he started talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to get that game. And then I looked how long it takes to beat it, 20 hours. I was like, oh, 20 hours? Shoot, I could beat that in a span of a week. Especially since a lot of it was cutscenes and stuff like that, though.
Get the
And
popcorn out.
yeah, so I was like, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with this game from start to finish. It's the first game I picked up and played from start to finish. I had the Metal Gear Solid, collection, the Master One, the Volume One, whatever you want to call it. I had that on PS5. I hadn't really messed around with any of the games up on there. I knew I was going to get around to it at some point, though. But it was at that time when we got that, where they announced Metal Gear Solid Delta. And I was like, oh, I'll play 3 like that as my first experience. Because people that love the series say that 3 is pretty much the fan favorite out of, all the mainline number entries for Metal Gear Solid. And I can see why. Just the way how they portray the story out, the different connections you have. And, this game being primarily all based in stealth, you don't see a lot of games where they fully embrace stealth like that to the level and degree of what this game actually does right here. So I actually really liked it, and you got rewarded with those amazing cutscenes. The story was great, and it actually got me really intrigued to check out the rest of the series. But obviously, this is going to be a slow burn because there's 4 other games out there. There's 1 and 2 I'll probably would do next in that order. Then I'll probably jump to 4, and then we'll see about number 5 though. So
Well,
slowly but surely, I might slowly
well,
work my way through the series.
you have a PS3?
No. I mean, I could play 1 and 2 thanks to the collection. 5 is available on PS5. 4 is that weird one. I think
It's on
it's
PS3 only. It is exclusive to PS3. Which, hey, maybe they'll do
oh.
another Master Collection.
Well, maybe yeah, they might be a volume 2 at some point because the
Which
way how
that would
they
also
did
have the
volume
PSP
1.
game.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna do a volume 2 at some point. So by the time I actually do get around to when I need to play 4, it probably will be available in some kind of way. So yeah,
They're probably building up to that, considering they just did, Metal Gear Solid Delta. It has been in this game like sold 1 million units already. I think it's pretty obvious to the fans that there is demand for a new Metal Gear.
yeah. Oh, and I will say this, Eva, mm, 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 mm. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I love them cutscenes with her. That was some good stuff right there, though. Shame what she has to do to the end of you, though. But I kind of saw that coming from a mile away. But
Yeah,
I was in for the ride. The ride was great. It was good.
and obviously when I get my PlayStation 2 all set up, I am gonna be playing that game first chance I get. I'm gonna play 1 and 2 first, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But overall, I think that's mostly all I've been playing. Like, because the week before last, it was all Metal Gear Solid Delta, and then primarily this week has been mostly just Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and that's been mostly it, with a few exceptions here and there, or just occasionally you just pull up some NSO game or something like that. But yep, that's pretty much all I've been going through and playing though. So I think that's gonna conclude this segment of the show. So now we're gonna move over into the next segment, that being what's in the gaming news. All right, Steven. I had to check the calendar at first. I almost thought I remember myself talking about this in the last episode, but I didn't. Because when the time that this State of Play aired, it was actually after my podcast episode from a couple weeks ago. But yeah, 007 First Flight. They actually had a dedicated State of Play for this thing. The game still doesn't come out until some point in 2026. I think we actually have a hardcore dedicated release date for it now, though. I have to remind myself what it is, though. But regardless, though, they went into kind of a little bit of a deep dive, kind of showing off, 007 in this new modern age. And oh shoot, the way how they portray like the mission and stuff, the different ways how you can kind of approach things, I think this is everything I wanted when in a 007 and more. Because what you being like a spy at the end of the day, you could, be rash about things, go straight forward, or you can kind of take the sneaky, stealthy route about going away. Look, there was a whole bunch of different ways of how you were able to actually handle certain tasks. Whether you wanted to kind of like listen in on people's conversations or stuff like that, cause a scene, or kind of sneak behind something where you weren't supposed to be at or whatever though. Or if you got caught up in a fight or something like that, you can kind of try to persuade people to get out of it. Or you can like shoot a chandelier or something like that, have that fall down, sneak by, or just confront people. There's a lot of different ways how you're going to be able to handle all of these different things. And I'm completely sold on getting this game. But the big question is honestly just the performance of it. Because when we were watching that state of play, when they had like him running through the airport and shooting at all these like big old gas barrels, which I was like, dang, how many gas barrels do you have to have at an airport? That just seems like a big old red flag right there. I digress though. But as he was shooting that stuff up, that frame rate started to tank just a little bit. And I'm like, ooh, I hope they
Well,
get that
I'll
mess
give it.
ironed out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, in this era where we have, game consoles are getting so expensive that every game better run good. Like, everything's getting so expensive, so there's really no excuse for poor performance anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, gaming, as of now, is becoming more of a luxury item than it ever has been, which is sad, but still. Like, if you're gonna get, if you're gonna charge me for quote unquote quality assurance and this and that, like, oh, we need to make money, we need to pay people. Well, make good games. Which it is. I didn't watch the state of play, but it looked fine from the little bit I seen from the initial reveal. I forget, was it at one of the other state of plays or was it at that Nintendo Direct that we first saw this game?
Well, no, the very first time we saw this game, I think it was shown in a state of play roughly around Summer Games Fest is when we first saw it for the first
Yeah,
time.
it's also, oh yeah, yeah. So that, I don't know, that game looks cool. But did you see the collector's edition with like an actual like golden gun? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know how expensive that thing will be though. I mean, yeah, it'll be cool nonetheless though, but I feel like they're gonna market. I mean, because limited editions nowadays though, like they get kind of a bad rep. They're either stupidly expensive or you're not getting enough bang for your buck for the price that you're paying for it.
Oh
So I'm
yeah,
like, whatever. But yeah, everything from the car chase sequence, the way how they were shooting up in this thing, as I'm just kind of going through and just skimming through this state of play again though. Gosh, this is everything I want up in this game now. And I did figure out when the release date does come out for this game because I have to look it back up. It does come out on March the 27th of next year. So we don't have to wait entirely like too long for this game to come out. Thankfully, though, because I mean, if it did take really a long time for it to come out and they already had like a state of play for it, I'll be like, oh, come on. Like, I'm like, it wouldn't make any sense to kind of showcase off this game that early or whatever though. But no, I'm all here for this thing though, and they did confirm it's not just only coming out to PlayStation; it is coming out to other platforms like Switch 2 as well. The only unfortunate thing is if you want it on Switch 2, you have to get like a game key card version of the thing. So I guess that might lean me towards getting this on PS5. But yeah,
yeah. It's just the game key card shit's really getting annoying, especially because file sizes are so big, and Switch 2 does not come with a lot of internal storage. 256 gigabytes nowadays is not enough.
yeah, or at least not internally
Just,
before you have to get the SD
yeah,
cards, which the express cards they're not cheap either.
you used to be able to make the argument that Nintendo's games are small, so it's fine. Hyrule Warriors is 44 gigabytes.
Mm. Yep.
The new one, I mean. So, like, yeah, I fully expect the next Smash game to be like fucking 60 gigabytes. It's not gonna be fun.
No, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm fully expecting though too.
If
But
Nintendo has to Nintendo probably won't optimize unless they have to fit it on the cart.
Yeah. So yeah. So honestly, I would say this. I'm super ecstatic about this game. Don't have to wait too much longer. They just got to work out and iron out some kinks. They got plenty of time to polish this game up because when this game comes out, oh man, it's gonna be like a movie event. I'm gonna be here the whole ride through, But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say on the 007 First Light, and we'll move it over to the very last, PlayStation topic we have of the night. That being all these stupidly dumb PS6 rumors, because whole freaking shoot, Steven. I feel like we shouldn't even be having this conversation right now. But apparently, I guess the wheels are starting to turn. These cogs are turning, and I guess Sony's like, "Hey, we had our time in the sun with the PS5. It's time to start prepping for the." I mean, yes, I fully understand it. You as soon as you put a console out, you technically have to start the work for the next thing. I get it, but in terms of hearing the rumor mill of something of a new product that's coming out maybe within the next 2 years or something like that, I still feel like it's been too soon. Maybe COVID threw a lot of things out of the loop because obviously this console first came out in the year of 2020 along with the Xbox Series X though. But I feel like they could be riding this console for at least another 4, maybe 5 more years before then we could really talk about or have this discussion for a PS6. Is your mind in like the same spot?
Yeah.
Oh, good gracious. But anyway, in terms of the rumors that they've been kind of spitting around here, apparently there's going to be like two different SKUs that they're kind of saying that might be associated with the PlayStation 6. There's going to be that dedicated home console system that we kind of are accustomed to with the PS5. However, there's going to be a disc and a digital model. Basically, like every PS6 is going to basically come discless. And then you can opt into basically buying a detachable disc drive like what we have with the current PS5. So I think that's basically option one that you're going to have, along with like part B with the disc drive attached. And then also there's going to be apparently a PlayStation 6 handheld that will be dockable, kind of like the Switch and the Switch 2. And both will be set for a holiday 2027 release. At least that's
That
what's
sounds
word
right.
on the street is going around right now.
Like, here's the thing. Like, if we're going by just math and patterns, yeah, I guess the PS6 is close to release. But the PS5, I feel we haven't even fully realized the power of the PS5. Like, come on.
Yeah, because
Like
I mean,
gaming budgets are ballooning for no reason.
yeah, because literally the first, what was it, 2 to almost 4 years, kind of close to 4 years, we were in that weird cross period where it was like, hey, a lot of the games that were coming out to PS5, they were still coming out on PS4. Remember God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, stuff like that. Even your launch games when they first came out, like a Miles Morales, that came out on PS5 and PS4 both at the same time, stuff like that. The only true first party exclusive game that came out on the PS5 at that time was Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Demon
And it
Souls
and Demon Souls, I
remake.
think. I think those were basically the only couple. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was supposed to be closer to launch. It was like following up
Um,
the next year or whatever, though. It was still
for
within a launch window, though, but only a
yeah,
couple of games, basically.
for a little while, Returnal was on PS5 exclusively. That game's fun.
So, yeah, so it wasn't that many. And then obviously within this generation, PlayStation started getting buddy buddy, and it's like, you know what? We're not just only gonna put games on our console. We're gonna put it elsewhere. Like they started putting a lot of their games on PC and stuff because these budgets are getting so crazy bad. They needed to find other ways to bring in that revenue for that game they worked so hard up on. So they started looking in other places to put it, like PC. And now they're even looking and putting them places such as the competition with Xbox. Like you literally have Helldivers on the Xbox where you're able to play that game. So I mean, it's just kind of crazy. So when you kind of factor in all that stuff like that, and the fact that PlayStation, you're lucky to get either 1 or 2 games a year from them, it just doesn't feel like it really got going, especially the first few years where a lot of that stuff was also available on PS4. Because as it stands now, and let's just set aside the PC argument, even if you were to look at games exclusively just as a console-based thing, there it's like less than a handful that that's exclusive to the PS5 console that you can't play on any other video game console at the moment. There's not that many. In comparison, when you look at something, even the Switch 2 out the gate, there's already quite a
Yeah.
bit right now.
At least Astrobot's cool. Like, I don't have that many PS5 games that I really care about, but Astrobot, like, by itself makes me happy enough to have a PS5, which is not the opinion of everyone. Some people expect more games for their console, which is completely justified. I just really like Astrobot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think the PS6 is a stupid idea, but I've said this before. I've given my grievances with Sony many times on the podcast. And what are those rumored prices again? I $1,000, right?
Probably. I mean, I hadn't seen a lot of stuff with the rumor prices because, I mean, let's keep it $150 with the way how tariffs and stuff is handling right now, and you know how technology it's usually more expensive, it gets cheaper as time goes on. Generally speaking, though, but this is for something that's not even
Not
out yet,
anymore.
and times are changing. Things are actually going up. Like we saw how the Switch console now it's valued more than what it originally launched at, though.
It's
So I mean,
funny.
it's still kind of hard to kind of pinpoint down a rough price of what this thing is.
You wanna know what's funny? They did that. I'm still seeing Switch consoles everywhere for normal price. Like, it feels like that's hardly actually enforced by any stores.
I mean, yeah, because it's all up to the retailers at the end of the day. Thankfully, I'm like, goodness, because that would be crazy. But if they burn through like a good amount of their stock or something like that, then maybe they will hit it. But they're probably just trying to cash in on people that that may not still have one, and they're probably going to try to get at least one more good holiday season out of this thing, and that'll probably be it. But I guess in terms of the pricing for the PS6, you have to kind of look at the PS5 Pro where it's currently at and the baseline PS5 because base PS5 is like what five? Oh gosh, I forgot the thing went up in price, $550. Yeah, no, because the gosh, I'm trying to remember. No, the PS5, the one with the disc, that went up to 550, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then
This
the disc
digital
drive is
450 or something, right? Oh, is that what it is? Digital? I don't know what it
yes.
is.
Okay, I'll just pull up Best Buy. Digital is now at the 500 where the console was usually always at, and with disc drive now it's at 550. And remind y'all that disc-less version started the generation at 400 and it went all the way up $100. That's crazy. So yeah, so now we're looking at 550-ish for a base PS5 and 750 is what the PS5 Pro goes for. So I imagine break even somewhere in between that price range, and that's probably where you're landing with a PS6. So I'm thinking it might be. I'm thinking 650 to 700. I think is where that PS6 might fall, if we're lucky. Is that what you're thinking too, Steven? Or you're thinking higher?
I think PS6 regular discless will be 700, and I think with the disc drive it's gonna be bordering 800, 850, which is the sad fucking gaming
Whoa! Hold up.
dystopia
You're
we live
saying
in.
discless is 700, and you're saying to add the disc, that's gonna be an additional $100.
Yes, I think they'll do
How much
that
is
because
the
they're
disc drive right now? That thing's only like 50.
80.
Is it 80?
I swear it's 80. You can go fact check me. I swear to God it's $80.
Oh gosh, if it is, that's ridiculous. Oh gosh, you're right. It
It
is
is.
80. Oh no, then you're probably right. Dang. Gosh. Man, they're out of their gosh dang mind.
Yeah,
Just a
tell me
Blu-ray
about it.
player, just for $80, man. I know they can sell that for you for cheaper. Goodness. All right, so that's just the price. So you're thinking it very well could be somewhere between 700 to 800, depending on whether or not you get the disc drive or not. Now, as for this other SKU, that's basically a Switch-like version for a PlayStation. Granted, I don't think that's going to play physical media whatsoever. I think it's basically going to play your whole digital library, PS4, PS5 games, PS6, basically anything, it's gonna be all digital. You're not gonna see no weird, funky way of it taking media like how the PSP or PS Vita is. I think it's gonna be purely all digital. But if I were to throw a price point for this, given that the Switch 2 sells for $450, I think this device could easily be $600. I would say it's gonna be around $600. Which, if the regular console is like $700 to $800, I think that's roughly about right. 'Cause this, no matter what, this will be a little bit cheaper. But I will be kind of curious if it docks just like how a Switch 2 docks. How much more power can you kick out of that mess when it's docked versus when it's on the go versus handheld? But nah, looking at all of that, Steven, if you had the option between the two, a PS6 where it's on the go but also dockable, or you get one that's slightly a little bit more powerful with like what we have with a basic PS5 or PS5 Pro, if you were to pick one of them, like someone gave you the money to get one or the other, but you can't get both, which one would you be leaning on?
Which out of which ones? I'm sorry.
Between a PS6, a standard PS6 that's like the stronger version, but it's you're always connected to the TV at all times, or you get like the Switch 2 Lite thing for the PS6. You choose one or the
Probably,
other.
probably PS6 because I already have a Switch.
Okay, so you're not curious about having those PlayStation games on the go. You're just gonna be like, I'll just play it on the TV. That's all I'm gonna do. Okay. For me it'd be kind of weird because I kind of like having the flexibility of moving stuff between all of it, and if they can say, hey, this PS6 that's that's basically the hybrid of the Switch effect for the PlayStation, if they can say, hey, that thing can rock 1080 on the handheld, and when you dock it, you still can get up to your 4K resolution, up to your 60, maybe up to 120 FPS, depending on some games or whatever, though, easily in performance, and it's not doing anything more stupidly crazy than that, I might lean on the hybrid system versus just getting a whole beefy console or whatever, though. Granted, my media setup, I don't know if I can actually afford to keep a PS5 and PS6 setup. But gosh, that does bring in the question, Steven, I guess the physical media part of it. Because I do have to keep in mind that, yeah, I got a bunch of PS5 and a handful of PS4 games. But if I were to get this discless version of it, or not discless, but the hybrid system of it, then I'll have to basically say I'm content on buying every other game moving here on now, all digital for PlayStation. I don't know. I'm almost at that point anyway, because you do got to go ahead and download that mess to the system anyway. But I don't know. It's more like a wait and see approach, even if this were a thing, though. But that hybrid PS6, that would be fairly attractive. That's all I'm gonna say to your little Fortnite battle pass.
Oh my god, it's my ringtone. It's not Fortnite.
It sounds like it would be something like that. Anyway, though. But yeah, did you have anything else to say on the PS6 rumors? I think that's all we got in the works right now, because I think Xbox apparently is supposed to have something new for 2026. And PlayStation will probably be hitting a little bit later in 2027. So it's kind of funny how, like, what you got Switch in 2025, Xbox maybe 2026, and PlayStation maybe 2027. So you had anything to say
Yeah,
on that, Steve?
not really, honestly.
All right. Well, I think that's going to basically do it in terms of all of the stuff we had to talk about with the PS6 rumors. And now we're on to the main event of the show. Because, oh, shoot, it is time to talk about this big old, beefy, chunky Nintendo Direct. Because, oh my gosh, this thing was a whole stinking hour, Steven. A whole hour. And when we first got that announcement that there was going to be that long, and it was on a Friday, not on a Thursday, but on a Friday, I was like, what all do they have to show off in this Direct that could possibly take up an hour's worth of time? Like, this is absolutely crazy. But then we were all kind of speculating, hey, there was going to be a potential Mario something anniversary because it is its 40th anniversary. And that's why this Direct took about an hour because I think the Mario related anniversary announced stuff took up like the first 15 to 20 minutes of the show. And then if you were to separate that out, which could have been almost its own presentation, then you had the traditional general direct that's about the traditional 40ish or so minutes though. So all in all, that makes for a really beefy thing. So we might as well go ahead and get this little show on the road though, because like oh my goodness, because like what we said, they started off with a little bit of Mario related news stuff because you had like your old boy over here Miyamoto because Miyamoto he's the advocate for everything that's all good for Mario related stuff. Like we know he's working on the Zelda movie, the Mario movie, and all of that stuff though. So yeah, so we knew we were in for a good time whenever we saw him up in there. That even when they started this thing off, they had like a whole bunch of stuff with like Mario's artwork and stuff like that. Just showing all the stuff from like Mario World, the NES Mario, all the way up to where we're currently at with 3D Mario with Odyssey and stuff. So it was kind of nice to see a little bit of that artwork and stuff showcased off. They did say and give updates in terms of like over there in Japan, they're doing some stuff with the Nintendo Museum for the 40th anniversary, doing something with a marathon or whatever. You gonna run in that marathon over there in Kyoto, Steven?
No, I'm not, but I really do want to eventually go to the Nintendo Museum. It'd be so fucking
I
cool.
honestly do too, because I want to get that like giant like plushy controller, like the 64 and the Wii ones or whatever. I always was debating on this buying that from somebody that's selling it on eBay, because I just don't see myself anytime soon going over there, especially since it's still like a lottery system to kind of get over there though. But I don't know, whatever. I digress though. But yeah, so
Yeah,
after
no,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do they have a 3DS plush? I'd really want that.
I don't remember. I just remember them having a NES or Super Nintendo. It was one of those two. 64 and Wii. I don't
The
think there was any.
Wiimote pillow would be really
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. So yeah, I will want to get the 64 one. But yeah, so that's how they kind of started it off with just a few things like that. Before then, they actually gave us our first good look at the Mario movie. Which, mind y'all, that thing is coming out next year in the month of April. And they finally gave us that tease for it though. And yes, of course, literally, we all knew that this mess was coming. And they actually it was kind of, in the rumor mill and stuff, like it was gonna be associated with Galaxy. And this is our confirmation
Yeah,
of it right here.
the f-
Yeah.
we got the funniest leak ever. A month ago, we got an image of an Old Spice can leaked, and the old, it was like these Old Spice cans with different flavors. Not flavors. It's deodorant. Different scents based on like desert, something like desert this, cosmic that, and then it was found, and it said on there the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and there was like a render of Yoshi and a render of Luigi. So
Yeah.
kind of from that, a lot of people thought that was fake at first, and then those scents the exact names got trademarked by Old Spice, and then we realized, oh god, it's real. And this was like a day or two ago. And then yep, Mario Galaxy movie is the official title confirmed, and a decent amount of the cast will be reprising their roles, but no Donkey Kong confirmed yet for the movie. Probably because of that spinoff that
Well,
might be happening.
yeah, that could be part of it. Yeah, that honestly, that really could be honestly part of it. But they probably didn't want to play too much into the Donkey Kong related stuff because that makes sense for like the origin of Mario's stuff. But like, think about it. Once you go up in the galaxy and stuff, unless you're trying to be super unique, there's other characters like, for example, Rosalina. Will she show up in this movie? I mean, there's other characters that you can throw up into the mix and pull out a few others, and I think that's probably what they'll do. Pull out Seth
Yeah,
Rogen as DK because he might have his own thing in the future, and then throw up in a new character like Rosalina, stuff like that. Keep things fresh.
I don't know if you saw this, but from some kind of Mexican theater chain, they accidentally confirmed Wario and Bowser Jr. for the movie as new villains. Who
I could
knows if
see
that's
Bowser
real?
Jr. because Bowser Jr. was technically a villain in the first Mario Galaxy game, right? I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember. Yeah,
he
but
was. He was
Wario,
in it.
Wario would be interesting because that would be
I
completely
would
unique.
love. I would love Wario as just like a side like villain, a foil. Like I could see Wario being a villain at first and then teaming up with Mario at the end because he realized, taking because Wario is not necessarily a bad guy. He's like I don't know. I don't think anti-hero is the right word either. He's just doing his own thing usually, just trying to get gold and being an asshole.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Wario. I want Danny DeVito as casting. I really want that.
Hmm. No, yeah,
We'll
I'll
see.
be that'd be cool. I'll be actually really looking forward to that as well, though. So,
I'm expecting us to get a direct specifically for the first trailer for the movie sometime in like November-ish.
it'll be before the end of the year is up if they were shooting to get that done.
Oh yeah, because it comes out in April. It's like the same timetable as the original movie, where it came out in like April of 2023. This is coming out April 2026. Which damn, it's crazy. It's been that long. I like feels like the movie just came out. I remember going to see it with family. It was really fun to watch. I don't know. I like the Mario movie mostly because it's one of the only Illumination movies that doesn't feel like an Illumination movie. It doesn't have shitty fart jokes and minions in it.
Oh yeah, 100% with that one. 100% with that one.
I don't know. The first Despicable Me movie is good, like pretty good, and then everything else just from there.
Yeah.
Either way, though, enough about Illumination. Like they're making the movie, but Nintendo has shown that they will most likely be like they have like a lot of control with what's in it.
Yeah, no, they they
Um,
they for sure do.
I'm excited. Obviously, Mario. The premise of Mario Galaxy, depending on how far they go with it, like if we actually are going to space, which I'm hoping so. Like maybe the whole cast gets scattered through space, different planets for different characters. Who knows? We'll see. You can do a lot of interesting stuff with that, and I'm
Yeah, because they
excited
they
for
can
that.
pull plot points from both the first and the second games. There's a lot
I
of
feel
different
like
ways that they can handle it.
I feel like they're gonna pull the whole thing from well, Bowser's obviously in the movie. He's gonna be the villain, like the main villain, and I'm assuming that the whole thing with Bowser is gonna be similar to the plot from Galaxy, where he's using the power stars he's gonna use the power because the whole movie, the whole first movie is about the singular power star, like that one power star is like the ultimate weapon.
Which they could have gone deeper in Mario 64 stuff before they even
Well,
jumped up
yeah,
to space, but
well, you know what I mean. In the context of the movie, that single power star was like one of a kind. When he finds out there are plenty of other power stars just like that on other galaxies, yeah, he's gonna want that, and I think that's good motivation right there. I don't know if Peach. I don't know if him kidnapping Peach is gonna be in this movie. Maybe just to give Bowser Jr. a mother. Maybe they're gonna take inspiration from Sunshine there.
hmm.
Which that begs the question: who did movie Bowser fuck? Are they actually gonna say it?
No, they ain't gonna say that, Steven. Come on, that's going too far now. They are not gonna say that whatsoever. They're just gonna say they're gonna treat it as the reverse because normally with most things you will see a child always associated with their mother and maybe not really reference the father that much. It'd just be the reverse. They're just gonna say the stuff with the dad. They ain't gonna bring up nothing about the mama, and they're just gonna
Yeah,
pull the
well, the
reverse,
mom. I guess the mom canonically is Miyamoto.
bruh.
Either way, though, yep. No, the movie looks cool. We didn't really see much of it. I mean, but like you know what I mean. It's gonna be similar visual style to the first movie, which the first movie looked incredible visually.
No, so all we got is a little bit of a tease right now. Not too much to go on outside of we just knowing it's Galaxy theme. So our minds can start to spitball and kind of tumble in terms of like what they might be able to do with this approach, though. But more than likely, we'll probably get a full official trailer probably before the end of the year. My gut's kind of with Steven, probably some point November. Either they'll do a dedicated direct or they'll just throw the trailer out there, one of the two. But we'll see though. But yeah, so that's how they got everything kick started off with this Mario theme. I'll say Mario theme direct. We're just gonna call it like that, at least for the first handful of these announcements though.
Oh
because
yeah.
right after they got done with talking about all of the Mario Galaxy movie related stuff, they were like, you know what? Um, to follow up on that, yeah, we're gonna keep rolling with this Galaxy themed stuff because Super Mario Galaxy, along with Super Mario Galaxy 2, are both coming out for the Nintendo Switch. And I looked at that and I was like, finally, my old boy Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now look, I like 3D Mario games. I love them. All except for like a couple. I ain't gonna get into that though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Mario Galaxy 2, I don't really like a whole bunch of linear style Marios. I'm more of a fan of the sandbox, Mario 64, Mario Odyssey. But in terms of linear style Mario games, Mario Galaxy 2, that's the game right there. Like, whole freaking shoot. I love the heck out of that mess playing it back on the OG Wii. So when we had Mario Galaxy 1 be a part of the 3D All Star collection way back when, I was thinking, I was like, dang, where's the second game at? Because you literally could almost play every 3D Mario game up on the service at that point besides 3D Land and what would have been Galaxy 2. But now they finally confirmed, hey, you can go ahead and get Galaxy 2 finally. I was like, oh, thank goodness, though. And I think a lot of people were hyped through the moon on this until we got some of the pricing for this stuff in the aftermath. Because, yes, you can get both the
Yeah.
games for $70 physically, or if that's too much for you, or you're someone like me, I only want to get Galaxy 2 because I got the 3D All Star that already has Galaxy 1 up on it. Yes, they're $40 a pop.
This is stupid. They charge $20 for both of these on the fucking Wii U.
Hey,
And not
but
only that, on Wii U you could just play the originals. You could go buy a used copy of Galaxy and just fucking play it on Wii.
how many
Wii U, I
people
mean.
really got Wii U's out there like that, Steven?
Okay, well, guess what? That still shows that Nintendo valued it at that much. Nintendo valued that game and all other Wii games, by the way, because Xenoblade Chronicles, any other Wii game that they released on the goddamn Wii U on the Virtual Console was $20. Okay, so it's just ridiculous, is what it is. And yeah, and not even that. The fact that they have the fucking audacity to make it a $70 game, even though yeah, it's on Switch One as well. This and Tears of the Kingdom are the only $70 Switch One games.
Yeah, that is true.
It's
That is
fucking
true.
absurd. It's absurd because I love Galaxy. I'm not saying that the games are not worth the price. Like they were released as full price games and they were worth it then. I'm not saying that these games are not worth the money that you're paying. Nintendo, I guess you could argue Nintendo's done worse with stuff like Skyward Sword HD and this and that. I don't, I beg to differ, but like, whatever. Some people will argue Skyward Sword HD is a much worse example of this. I disagree heavily.
Yeah.
Either way, though, like Skyward Sword HD fixes a ton. For these, look like they're just just remasters, nothing added.
Well, we can't say that there's nothing
The
added because
storybook
the
pages
storybook
added. I'm like,
pages,
that's
they got some unique
nothing.
pages that are added just only for this. And if you're someone like me that played Mario Galaxy 2, the storybook wasn't even in, oh gosh, what was that? The storybook wasn't even in Mario Galaxy 2, and they're actually adding that into the game now. So you got
You want
access
to
to
know
that
what?
book on both games.
Yeah, you want to know what would have been cool? Imagine if they added like new comets to the game, like the ones where you can't go through the level while only getting hit once. The prankster comets, the purple coin comets. That probably couldn't have taken too much work. Like adding actual new content to those games would have been great, or even just the ability. Like there's so much stuff you could have done with Galaxy 1 and 2 if you really wanted to make it better. I don't even know if they're adding mouse controls. Mouse controls would probably be a fun way to play Galaxy 1
Uh,
and 2 because the pointer controls are fucking terrible, honestly.
That'd be weird because it'd be like because you're doing a bunch of other stuff with your button commands and stuff like that on the controllers. So I don't know. It might have been a little bit weird though. But yeah, that wasn't the only thing we got associated with Mario Galaxy because along with that game coming out on October 2nd, which honestly, that's not too far from now. That's like literally
Like 2
2 weeks,
weeks.
2 weeks from Thursday. 2 weeks from Thursday, or at least by the time that direct was airing on that day, it was like 3 weeks time. But now it's a little less than that. They did confirm that we are getting a couple of amiibo as well, and they look really good. They do really look really good. They're
Yeah.
actually supersized, so they're bigger than your average amiibo. So I was like, oh, cool, I'm down for this. I like the Warp Star with the Lumas up in there, Rosalina reading the storybook. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get both of these. Then you look at the price point. We're talking
Same price as
$40
the
a
games.
pop. I was like,
Same price as the
huh?
games, baby.
Actually, well, to get both, well, okay, well, yeah, get one digitally. Yes, you're right. And it's not like they come out around the same time that the games come out. It's actually like way later, like April 2nd of 2026 is when we get these amiibo. So yeah, you got to wait on these for a while though. I already got both these pre-order because I really like the way how these look, and they're super sized. They're not your standard average size. They're gonna be great for the collection though. But like, oh shoot, man, these tariffs though, man, I hate this mess though. Shouldn't be
Yeah,
that
I
expensive.
tell me about it.
But yeah, I think. Oh well, no. There's one more thing relating with Galaxy because they're pushing Galaxy hard because of this movie coming up next year and the anniversary. They did say that Rosalina storybook is also going to be available for you to be able to buy from like the Nintendo store, as well as actually now I saw it floating around. Amazon and Barnes and Noble actually has that book up for pre-order though, so it has like all of the pages of what was actually in that storybook along with some extra stuff because I think it said it's like what the page count's like 125 pages or something crazy like that. I know there's
Oh,
not that many pages in the original storybook, so I'm like, okay. So they got some extra stuff added up, and I wonder if
well,
it's like concept art of the games or something like that.
well, Zard, I think they said that they're adding an entirely new storybook to Galaxy 2. I swear that's what they said.
Ooh, I can't. Oh
I
well.
I think that's what
I
they
think it was
said.
something
Is
about
that
with
the
the origins
Galaxy
of the Lumas or something
Lumas?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, which that's like fine, but like, that's like YouTube video level shit. Like, okay, that's cool, but like I'll just watch it. It's not actual content that I'm willing to pay for. It doesn't excuse the premium price. And I guess they're just gonna be adding more storybook pages to the original well, as I say, to Galaxy One as well. They'll expand Rosalina's story. I don't see the purpose. I love Galaxy. I really do. It's not. I don't want it to sound like I hate Galaxy. What I hate is Nintendo's bullshit recently.
Oh goodness. But yeah,
Well,
no,
yeah. It's just way too expensive, Nintendo. What do you think we are?
I think we're made out of money bags, Steven. Money bags.
Well, I know you are because you're buying all those amiibo.
Well,
But like,
I'm spacing that mess out. I'm spacing it out.
all right,
Now, okay, so Tyler put something good up in here in the chat. A good buddy I know. He said, "Dang, Galaxy One releasing. I wonder if Mario All Star will get the Switch 2 upgrade for Galaxy One." Heck no to that because they said that was a limited time release. That would backfire on them if they were to talk back and say, you know what, we're actually gonna get an update for that game. So no, I'm fully not expecting them to actually do something like that. It would have been cool if they would have said, hey, you get a Switch 2 edition of it, and you would have gotten the Galaxy 2 content up in there. I would have loved to see that, but
oh, for
Nintendo ain't gonna
3D
be
All
that.
Stars,
Yeah, for the 3D All Star Collection, I would
that's
love
too
that, but
generous of them.
that is too generous. I would have
Like,
bought it. I would have bought it for $20 because I would have been okay with getting the game digitally. That's kind of where my mind's at with Galaxy 2 because I kind of want the HD version, but I don't want to pay a full $70 to buy
which
another
I
game of Mario Galaxy 1 that I already have physical. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, and I should specify they did say a Switch 2 update will be coming to increase resolution, which is nice and all, but like I don't know, at that point, just shadow drop it today on the fucking eShop. Have the physical come later. That would have been at least somewhat better. And then
Yeah.
it's weird. The amiibo are coming out in April.
Yeah, the
And
Amiibo come out in
I don't.
April, which is
That's
roughly the
so
same
weird.
time that the movie comes out. That movie comes out also in the month of April. So
It just it just makes me think like why are they even doing the amiibo? Like I guess does that mean that
I think it's just mostly to cater to people that probably are gonna go see the movie and be like, oh, I want something to walk away with that's kind of physical. Boom, there you go, the amiibo. Because
The
I mean, the
only
amiibo ain't really gonna have like compatibility within the game itself.
the only thing that could actually possibly be a little interesting about these ports, Zard, is if it's a native port of Galaxy 1 and 2. Because 3D All Stars is like emulated. It is like a little bit of emulation, a little bit of native. So if these are like actual native, like they ported over Galaxy 1 and 2 to the Switch, that's more interesting.
I
And
guess
I
so.
know
But
I know that you don't, it doesn't really matter to you, like you wouldn't really understand the difference per se, but like in terms of like how they run and this and that, it would be a huge difference. Because like if we're paying $70 for two emulated ROMs, that's embarrassing, honestly.
yeah, I don't know. Regardless, though,
I I have
it's not like a
sorry.
high budget, you know, thing that cost Nintendo a ton of time to do. These were Wii
It,
games. I feel like GameCube
I'm
and Wii games
sure.
they don't take too much to move it over and upres it or whatever though. But
Listen, I've seen 4K texture packs for Mario Galaxy since 2016. Like they are a thing that have existed in emulators forever.
yeah,
It's ridiculous, honestly.
yeah. All right. So last thing we'll say with Galaxy before we move on to the other announcements in the Mario Direct portion though. Um, where's your mind at in terms of if you're getting physical or you getting these games digital or you picking one or the other like Galaxy 2? Where's your
I
mind
still
at?
don't, I still don't even know if I'm getting it.
Okay. All right, so you don't know if you're getting it.
But
For
like
me,
if I
if
do
I
get
am
it,
getting it, it'll be digital only for Galaxy 2, and that will be it.
well, Zard, here's the thing. If I do get it, it would probably be physical because at least I could like lend it to my brother if he ever wants to play it, or I
Okay.
could, or I could eventually like sell it. I don't know. Like the fact of the matter is, like it's always these like ports of old games to new systems is always very interesting to me because eventually the Wii copy will get very expensive. So like having these games
Eventually, but it's still cheap, and I still got it in my
like
collection. Thank
like
goodness.
I have no problem with them preserving these games. Like them preserving these games for a new generation is really cool, but not for $70. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been 40. Galaxy One Plus Two for $40. Like think
I
about
would
it
have
like
been
this.
okay with it being 50.
Metroid Prime maybe 50. Metroid Prime Remastered exists, okay? Metroid Prime Remastered is a GameCube game that was given the facelift and became one of the most beautiful looking games on the Switch for $40 and also with improved controls. Pikmin 1 plus 2 is two GameCube games, or technically two Wii games, because I'm pretty sure it's the Wii versions with like the widescreen. The Wii versions had the widescreen and they had the pointer controls. So technically, two Wii games for $50. So how the fuck does Galaxy One Plus Two cost $70? Are we you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. You can you even say tariffs when no other games have gone up yet because of it? At least Switch
No,
One games.
you can't make that argument either though.
It's fucking dumb. You can't really say tariffs on that because the digital copies are the same price. It's not. Yeah, like if anything, buying these games separately is a worse deal. Would make I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at there because otherwise we'll be talking about these
Yes,
price
I
points
know.
forever though.
I know. I want to talk about something I actually liked from this damn direct. Sorry.
Yeah. And Tyler said he got Galaxy 2. Well, no, he's going for physical for Galaxy 2. Oh, all
Yeah, I
right.
feel like
All right,
that's
I
the
get
only
you.
like I don't know. Out of if I have to buy it, I'll get it physical. At least that way, like I actually have a nice copy to put on my shelf, and that way I don't have to open up my sealed copy of Galaxy Two.
You still have a seal? Okay. Okay.
Yes, I have a sealed copy of Galaxy Two.
All right.
I don't know why I have a sealed copy of Galaxy Two, but it's there.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that was it for the Galaxy portion of the Mario Direct thing. Then they hit us with a new Mario game, and what a better way to bring it on in with a new Mario sports game, the most consistent. the one that's usually there at the start of every, I feel like every new console. And yes, we're talking about Mario Tennis with Mario Tennis Fever though. And I was looking at this, I was like, oh, okay, this it didn't look like too much different. Like for a second, I was looking at it at in the intro moments of when they were showing this game off. I was like, it kind of just looked like a little bit more of Mario Tennis Aces. But then they hit you with the new gimmick with the whole fever rackets. And when they started doing that, I'm like, oh, okay, now I can see why this game is going to be uniquely different with this in comparison to what we have with the previous one on the Switch though, like literally hitting rackets that can send your characters ablaze, or hitting with Rosalina, they're making like the court and stuff like freeze over
Well,
and stuff like
because
that.
it's kind of an evolution of the energy meter from Mario Tennis Aces. Mario Tennis Aces, you fill up your energy meter and it lets you do either zone shot or zone speed, which those are really fun mechanics. But like eventually it gets a little repetitive. Trust me, it is definitely a really fun game and has some of the best core gameplay out of the entire Mario Tennis series. But the issue it didn't feel like Mario Tennis. It wasn't wacky enough. Didn't really have that much stage variety. It was a fun game, but like I don't know, it can only be so fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't go back playing that game all the time. This game has 38 characters already confirmed, most in series history. They say can't be by that much though, because I know Tennis Aces had a lot of characters.
Oh yeah. By the time they got done with their DLC stuff too, because they were still adding characters in that game.
Yeah, so most characters in series history, plus the little added 30 fever rackets, which yeah, the fever rackets, like I was saying earlier, are interesting because it's not the energy meter from. It's similar to the energy meter from Aces. You fill up a fever meter, and then once you fill it up to a certain point, you can use your fever racket's special skill. So it's kind of like the energy meter, but you have 30 different supers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you basically, you select your character, which your character has its own stats by default, and then you select your fever racket, which has its own skill. Definitely adds a lot of competitive value to it. I think it's gonna be interesting. I hope this game's good. Trust me.
No. Yeah.
Them already confirming it's gonna have like a little adventure mode with all the babies is fun. I guess that confirms all of the babies will be playable, which is
Yeah.
probably how they're gonna reach that 38 roster.
Yeah, that
Um,
kind of makes sense because I was looking at that. I was like, I do like games with a good little bit of story because I mean, because once you done everything to unlock everything, I mean, mostly at that point you're just gonna hit the courts online, which they do have like a casual way to play with like a bunch of the fever rackets and stuff. And then if you're trying to rank up for glory, it's probably a little bit more straightforward tennis. And I would say out of all of the sports games, tennis is one of my most favorite ones because I've been playing a lot on the 64. I went and bought the GameCube one as well, so I understand why. Dang, I even just looked at this thing even now with this trailer though. We even got Baby Wario and stupid Baby Waluigi. What the freak?
That's a new one. Baby Wario we've had for a while, but Baby Waluigi's new.
Yeah, so I was like, what the heck? Anyway though. But yeah, so got a little story mode up on it, and don't have to wait too terribly long for this game to come out because it comes out February 12th. So already we got a new game to look forward to for the year of 2026 in terms of just switch to games in general though. So being able to slide, you still get the power shots and angling it wherever you want. The fever rackets, a new story mode. I'm interested in this game. I probably will pick this up, assuming nothing else crazy comes out in that first quarter of next year, which they already kind of confirmed that. Throughout the rest of this presentation, they started to stack
Was
up
it
what
is
would
it
be first quarter.
February?
Yeah, February.
I think Dragon Quest, which we'll talk about later, comes out in February.
Yeah. So I mean, they're slowly starting to stack it up, and we got to see that as this presentation goes on, though. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Anything else on tennis?
The game looks fun. It also has a ton of wacky shit. Seen Waluigi pinball, seen stuff from Mario Wonder. I kind of really love the talking flower being a commentator. Like that's probably the best use of the talking flower so far. If you're
No,
gonna make him like this weird like comedy, I guess he's like supposed to be the comedic relief of the Mario series now.
basically.
I don't know. He's just a little wacky guy, and I'm warming up to him. Mario Wonder as a debut game for him was really funny, and he's been good since. I don't know. I haven't played that. There's that Mario Party mode that he's in. I haven't actually played that mode yet. Wonder how funny he is in that. Either way, though, I don't know. Looks like a fun game. For $70 though, it better have content. Where I'm sick. We already, the whole Switch era, we dealt with Mario Tennis game, not Mario Tennis. We dealt with Mario sports games that did not have nearly enough content to justify themselves.
Yeah, the
So
only one I would say did was Mario Tennis. That one I felt like justified itself. Strikers was golf. You weren't a fan of golf. Was that it?
I sucks,
Outside
man.
of like
I
what
was
would have been like
not.
an Olympics game or something like that. But
Yeah, I don't know. I was not a fan of golf, but my God, it didn't have to be bad. Didn't have to be bad, but they chose to make it bad.
I don't know. Hopefully we get a Mario baseball or something like that on this for this one though. Please, please, please. All right, but speaking of, that Wonder Flower and stuff that you were talking about, the next thing that they
Yeah.
managed to confirm up on this thing was we finally got it, the Super Mario Brothers Wonder Switch 2 edition, which if you think back to that Switch 2 presentation way back when, they showed Mario's little graph with Wonder and him jumping and showcasing that off at 120 FPS. So instantly in the back of both of our minds, we knew we were going to get a Switch 2 edition at some given point.
Yeah,
They
but
just
we
happened to
we didn't
announce it right
even
here.
we don't even know if they're adding 120 FPS. For some reason, which they did this version in the most underwhelming way they could have possibly done it. I am not excited for Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition at all unless they show us more content.
There
Because
is
from
going to
what
be more content because at the very end of this little thing, they say, "Hey, we're going to show you more at a later given
you know
point."
what I mean though,
Yeah,
the focus is the multiplayer content.
yeah,
It's
or at
like
least
a
what they showed us off with
which
this right
which
now.
by the
I have
way,
a feeling they're going to give us more single player stuff, but it's kind of like if you think back to the new Super Mario Brothers stuff way back in the day, like you had the main game and then you had like stuff that was kind of multiplayer with like the card game and all of that stuff or the 1v1 action stuff. Like I feel like this is kind
yeah,
of what
which
it's delving
no,
into. It's just talking about that
listen,
stuff and we'll get more stuff,
listen.
but yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with like the versus modes. I think they're probably going to be pretty fun. But the fact of the matter is, Mario Wonder, you can't even interact with other people. You know what I mean?
Hold, yeah, that is true
You
because
can't jump
if all of these
like
multiplayer modes are going to be only like local, then that's going to burn as well. Because I was like, oh, I wished in this update they'll
no.
say,
I
hey,
think
you can actually do
I'm
this
pretty
stuff
sure it is going to be
online.
online. I'm pretty sure there was a local multiplayer and an online multiplayer option I seen. Either way, though, like even if there wasn't online and it was just local, you still can't actually interact with people unless they make that an option.
Yeah,
Which I don't know, just kind of like why? Like literally why? That game would have been so fun to play with all of you guys online if we could just throw each other around and kill each other.
it
Make it
would
an
have been because
option. Make
yeah,
it
it
an
would have brought me
option.
back to my new Super Mario Bros. Wii days where we were picking people up and chunking people in the, in the ditches and stuff like that
Yeah,
because
I
we
don't
we
even
put
think.
up with people.
Yeah, they didn't even give New Super Mario Bros. Game Share. The closest way to do something like that would be to play 3D World, which is a good substitute, I guess. 3D World's a lot more fun playing it with other people like that.
Yeah. So the game comes out in spring of 2026. So we don't have to wait too terribly long for that. When they say spring 2026 or any of these other announcements, I'm assuming March or later. And Steven, I know how
So
much you love that talking flower. They're even releasing that like physically to buy
I'm not
as
buying
well.
that. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I am not
you're buying that
buying
sucker.
that.
Come on, Steven, you're getting
I'm
that.
not.
You're gonna
No,
want
I am
no.
not.
Even Sonic might get that gift for you. Like, come on, man. He knows you talks a bunch, so he might give you that flower
Listen,
just so
I'm
that way
not.
you got something else to talk to.
Sonic doesn't have money. He's not gonna buy me anything. Um, Back to what I was saying though, like I don't know. It's probably gonna be like fucking $50. If it's anywhere close to the price of a Larmo, I'm gonna go ballistic. That's like way too much
Oh,
for like
hopefully
you
it's
put
not
you press
100. I'm hoping
like
it's cheaper than
if
that.
you press a button and it makes a little sound probably ripped directly from Mario Wonder. It's probably something that you can make for $10 just by getting like like a voice recorder and 3D printing it. I don't know. Better be good. Better be funny. Better have a bunch of voice lines to justify it being a product. Either way, though, Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition needs more stuff. Like, for example, they accidentally showed that Rosalina is going to be a playable character. Uh, I want more on that. Is there actually gonna be new single player content? Who fucking knows?
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so that's all that they showed us for pretty much all of the stuff for Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 edition. We'll get more information at some other later point. Probably drop on the Nintendo Today app or something crazy like that. No, but yep, that's pretty much going to be it in terms of that. So the one last announcement that we had that will kind of conclude up what we're dubbed as the Mario theme anniversary direct portion of the show. They did manage to showcase off a new game for my old boy, a Yoshi. Because like whole freaking shoot. Like how long has it been since we had Yoshi's Crafted World?
Too long,
Really? I
especially
think
because
what did that game come out in like not the year that the Switch dropped, 2017. It was the year after, right? In
2019.
2018 or was it
No,
19?
it was supposed to come out in 2018.
And it got delayed to
Got it
2019.
got silently delayed to 2019.
Okay. So yeah, so 2019. And usually I feel like with most Yoshi games, we only get like one per console. So it's nothing really kind of to snuff at or whatever though. It's just kind of what, to happen. Because like what, Wii U we had Wally World, Switch was Crafted World, and now this
We
one's
didn't,
being called the
yeah.
Mysterious Book.
And it seems like with Yoshi games, they just love to do these weird art styles now, which I love it. Like I really do love the art style, but I think it would be fun to actually get an honest to god like Yoshi game again.
I just want something closer to Yoshi's Island, like what we had on the Super Nintendo.
What
Like that was a masterpiece. Everything since then, I kind of looked at him and I just never quite kind of got the same vibe. So I don't know.
well, I don't know when you say that, but I feel like this definitely has a similar feel to Yoshi's Island in terms of how it looks, the storybook thing. Which, by the way, I do really love the art style. Like I like that it's like choppy, like Yoshi isn't really animated extremely smoothly. He's animated like a storybook character. I love that. I think it looks beautiful. Like I said, I just have a couple quirks, just a couple small quirks, okay? Like for example, it looks like you're just gonna go around exploring and finding like clues and shit, I guess, is my understanding of it.
Yeah,
Like,
because
okay, you go around and you research things. Are these gonna be side objectives in the levels, or is that going to be the levels?
that
Like,
is true.
I'm just kind of
Because
kind of confused about it right now.
yeah, because in Yoshi's Island, the one on original Super Nintendo, you were only supposed to get from point A to point B, get to the end of the level. That was basically it. But it was up to you if you want to kind of collect all the collectibles and stuff along the way. Whereas with this one, it's like you're kind of going through. It's a little bit more exploration within the level. Like you're documenting all the different stuff, and it seems like like when you're used to having like Baby Mario on your back the whole time, if you pick up other characters and have them on your back, it kind of gives Yoshi new abilities or different ways to kind of interact with the environment, like how with those cotton swab people, they can be stuck on a rock and makes it a little easier to smash or something like that. So it's like little things like that will kind of determine the way how the gameplay plays and evolves around you. I still need to kind of get a little bit more looks at the way how the game plays and stuff. Because I mean, artistically speaking, it's not necessarily bad. It is kind of reminiscent of like a modern day version of what would be Yoshi Island. So I guess the art style kind of works. It's just kind of the gameplay and the way how like what you mentioned. Hey, is it meant to get from start to finish, or you gotta complete a bunch of objectives and that kind of finishes the level
Uh,
off for you? That's kind of what I
in my
really need to
way,
see at this point.
in my opinion, like it's a Yoshi game. It's gonna be a pretty easy game. It's probably gonna have co-op, and it's just meant to be a fun little comfy adventure that you look at and it looks really nice. If I had to make a guess, it's probably Good Feel working on this, and Princess Peach Showtime is just a little side thing they made.
Oh yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah,
Because Princess Peach Showtime is a whole nother situation. That game needs a Switch 2 edition, but like that's a whole nother discussion that doesn't matter today.
yeah. All right.
Either way, though, looks good. It's probably gonna be $70 though, so it better have a lot. Like that's the thing. If we're pushing the envelope to 70, we need to justify that.
Yeah. So hopefully this game's good. I don't know if I will pick it up. I just need to see a little bit more about it though. But yeah, that basically does it in terms of all of the Mario 40th anniversary stuff. Who knows? We might get more stuff announced for what will be their 40th anniversary as the year progresses into 2026. We'll have to wait and see on that. But in terms of this direct, that basically does it though. And that was literally like the first whole 20 minutes of this direct. So the rest of the 40 was like the traditional, usual good stuff that you get in the general Nintendo Direct though. And now I'm starting to look at my notes because this is when some of the third party stuff starts to kick in, and some of it's hits, some of it is misses. Like right now, that's
It's
airing on this
lightning
TV right
round,
now. Um,
lightning round.
let me see here. Let me get my little notes up here though. Yeah, they went through a little bit of a third party ish kind of slop right now. I ain't gonna lie, I don't think any of these games interested me or probably even you, or at least not these first few ones that they mentioned. So we're gonna blast through that here real quick though. Until we got all the way over into another first party game, that being Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. And I told you, Steven, we're either gonna get this or we're gonna get Rhythm Heaven. One of these two
Yeah,
will
I
show
know.
up in the direct, the other one won't. I was thinking we are gonna get Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi will be later, but no, we got Tomodachi first. And I'm like, oh, okay. I kind of like how they kind of teased it a little bit. Like you had the dude at the very beginning yelling out, "When does the game come out?" I'm like, I love that dude. Look, he wanted to get down to the nitty gritty. He was answering. He was asking the real questions out there, though. I respect the passion, though. But yeah, it seems like you're going to be able to do quite a bit of stuff up in here. I'm not necessarily a fan of Tomodachi Life. I never played the other one that came out on 3DS or something like that. Have you played Tomodachi before, Steven?
No, actually,
Okay.
I know people go fucking crazy for this game. They act like it's the best thing ever made. They act like it's a gift from God. It just looked okay. It looked like some basic 3DS like tech demo ass title. It looked fine. I didn't know there was a huge audience for this game for a while. I never had it, obviously.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
it feels like it's
It
climbing up in popularity, like how Animal Crossing kind of broke out. So we'll
the
see
more I
how
see
big.
of it, it looks like just a wacky ass like little game where you mess around, which seems fun. The fact that you can like customize your voice. And by the way, I seen a little makeup option during the me customization. It better have as much customization as Metopia, because that would
Oh
be
yeah, because
awesome.
Metopia had like a crazy amount, but the way
That's
how
like the
these
best
Mii's
thing
look,
about it.
they kind of pay more homage to like how you originally made your Mii's, like in the Wii days, almost
Well, no,
ish.
Metopia had that.
Yeah.
Metopia had the whole how the Mii's look. This game, if anything, the Mii's actually look pretty different. Like there's a ton of more customization in just the base Mii features already, plus all this other shit.
Yeah. And then they did manage to confirm when this game comes out. It's also another spring 2026 contender, though. So,
Is Nintendo allergic to giving release dates recently? What's happening?
well, no,
They
we
took
got release
they
dates
took
for
three
stuff.
directs.
Yeah.
No, it took 3 directs to get a release date for Prime 4. Hyrule
Well, Prime
Warriors
4 was
has
kind of
been
weird.
I don't know, Hyrule Warriors, they've just been saying 2025 just up until now. And now this game and Rhythm Heaven is just 2026. They announced it like a year early. They announced Tomodachi Life like a year goddamn early for
Yeah, I
some
don't know
reason.
why they had to announce those two games so early. Maybe just to go and show, hey, we're supporting the Switch 1 just a little bit longer. I can kind of understand it for that. But at least now, Tomodachi Life, we got a window. But Rhythm Heaven's still vague 2026. Probably second half of next year, though. But yeah, so I think that's basically it for Tomodachi Life. And then they roll over into a few other third party games, but there were some more meaningful ones up in here. Like we did manage to get another collection for Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. So, you know, if you're a fan of those fighting games and stuff like that, they got like some cool little Easter eggs, some interviews and stuff like that. There is a physical and digital for that. So if you're interested in that, you can kind of, you know, look out for that when those two versions come out. They did also talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming, and they did manage to actually give us a release date for that, though. Just a little heads up on that. It is going to be a game key card because the file size is stupidly big. There's no way it could even fit on a standard cartridge, even if they wanted to. But the game only costs like $40. That's not bad for getting the base game of 7 Remake along with the DLC stuff that you would have had with Integrate that people had to pay that extra $10 for way back when you went from PS4 to PS5. So you get a lot of bang for your buck for this. I ain't gonna lie though, and it comes out January 22nd. Was there anything you wanted to say on that one, Steven?
It looks fine. Like I probably might get this. I don't know. I have Rebirth on PS5, so I feel like I should just. I don't know. I probably should just get Remake on PS4, PS5. I mean, because it definitely, like, it will definitely look and run better, and I'm pretty sure I can transfer stuff over, right?
You're talking about from.
Remake the Rebirth.
Oh no, Remake to Rebirth. Nothing really transfers over like your saves or nothing like that. Like you kind of start over from ground zero.
Oh, I thought you like transfer over levels and stuff,
No, not
and like
really.
weird.
But
I thought
no,
that would maybe that will be a thing once all three parts are out.
no, because I mean it's kind of like you start over because some of the stuff gets like tougher or whatever though. But yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of remake and stuff like that. Then you get into some other weird third party games, which honestly I don't have any affinity towards whatsoever. Until you get to one indie game that managed to showcase up. Supergiant managed to make a display with the release of Hades 2. I know for a lot of people they really love themselves some Hades 1. And when they saw this, some people were expecting that maybe it might have been a shadow drop. I wasn't leaning on the side of that though. But we don't have to wait too much longer for this game to come out as well. Is this one of those games, Steven, you're looking forward to getting at some point? I didn't know if you're like a huge Hades 1 fan.
So I liked Hades 1. It's a good game. I don't really think I care about it that much though. I don't think I care enough to buy the sequel immediately.
Okay, okay. I was just kind of curious though, because I know this
Yeah, I
has
don't
been
know.
a game on some people's wish list for quite some time though. But no, they've been taking their sweet time making this game though. I'll say that though.
Well, well, not really. I think the original came out. It's a it's an indie game, obviously. The original came out in like 2021, 2022, and they announced Hades 2 extremely early. That's probably why you're saying that. They announced it at like one of the Game Awards showcases or something. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like they got a little ahead of themselves though, but since then they've just
Well,
been putting a
because
little time in it.
Jeff Keighley wanted an announcement. I guess I don't fucking know.
But yeah, so we had
Either way though, it looks good. It's gonna be 120 FPS on Switch too. It's another indie game actually taking advantage of it.
yeah, I feel like they'll probably be the number one advocates in terms of defending that or you know taking advantage of that for sure. So yeah, so that was it in terms of Hades 2. And that kind of concluded up a little small segment of third party games that we managed to get right there. Then they managed to hit us with some updates on Kirby Air Riders because lo and behold, we got some amiibo coming. Shoot, if you haven't caught the memo already, this is gonna be a amiibo heavy direct right here. Like y'all thought amiibo was done, heck no. And we're evolving it up to the next level though, because with these amiibo, you can train them up just like how you do with Smash Brothers amiibo, where you know the way how you get to train them, make them a little bit better. They kind of learn from you. They race a little bit better though. But here's the real kicker with this amiibo. Not only do you buy a Kirby with a Warp Star or Waddle Dee with a blue wing one, these amiibo you can pop the characters out and switch them around and onto different riders. That's a pretty cool novel concept. I love the heck out of that. That's only Sakurai can probably put enough influence on them to say, hey, let's try to do something like this. And I'm all here for it. But then you get hit with that price point. $50 to get Kirby with the Warp Star or $50 to get Waddle Dee with his rider. And if you want to kind of even remotely do some of the swapping, $100 to put both of them together. And in the fine print, they said, "Hey, more riders and vehicles will be on its way soon."
But yeah,
And
you
I'm
gotta
like,
remember
"Oh shoot!"
that's $100 just to swap fucking two of them. Like, okay, is the swapping really worth $100? Like, wow, I can put Kirby on the Warp Star. Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? Like, yes, I know it's too it's obviously like this and that. But you want to know something, Zard? They did this In 2014, Skylander Swap Force. Okay? They did this for $15 approximately per figure. Maybe 10. They were not that expensive, okay?
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate because we do get hit with the tariffs a little bit, so that's part of the reason why. Because otherwise, if that was in the play, these might have been $40, like $20. Because it's
They should
basically
be
like you're
30.
getting, yeah, they're basically like they're giving you two amiibos for the in one single package. Because the Kirby
Well,
itself is
honestly,
technically amiibo, the cart itself is technically another amiibo. So it makes
they
sense
should have
why it's
been
kind of that expensive, but almost go all the way up to
no,
50
if
is
any
ooh.
if anything, it should have been 25. 25, 25. You get the two amiibo, you get to swap them, this and that. The issue is nowadays Nintendo's getting too goddamn greedy. I think that's the main thing. A lot of the stuff they showed in this direct is not that bad. Like I think it was a relatively good showing, all things considered. The issue is everything else, like pricing, the timing of some of these like reveals, this and that.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that was kind of holding it back, though. And then also, Sakurai did confirm that, or they confirmed in this direct, that we are going to get another Kirby Air Riders direct presented by Sakurai himself. So, what the heck that the man got to show? Because, I mean, that last direct he did, I felt like he showed almost everything about the game, unless there's something else hidden up in there, like a single player campaign, which that's where I'm fully kind of leaning on at this point, though. But yeah, at some point we'll probably get another direct for that. Since the game comes out in November, that means more than likely that direct is going to come out in October at some point. I don't know when in October, but more than likely in October at some point. Could be early November, but it doesn't need to be too close to next to Hyrule Warriors. Which, speaking about Hyrule Warriors, the next game that was up on the docket was a Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And Steven, I don't know about you, man, but seeing this mess running 60 FPS is beautiful because I'm like, wait, something ain't right about this game. Going off of the heels of Fire Emblem Three Hopes as well as Hyrule Warriors. Oh gosh, what was the other one that was before this? Not the OG Hyrule Warriors, but the one that was
Age of
Age of Calamity.
Calamity,
Yeah,
and
going
then
off of those
Age
two
of
games,
Imprisonment.
I'm not used to it running at a fluid 60 like 24/7. Like it's a little jarring. I ain't gonna lie though, but it's a good jarring though to kind of see it finally all polished up like this. Oh man, that's gonna be a beautiful game to play. Now we don't gotta worry about frame dips and drops like that. Like oh shoot, I mean yeah, there might be something occasionally though, but I mean
I think
somewhat
I
consistently keep it 60. That's crazy.
oh yeah, they hope they do some kind of update for Age of Calamity. I really hope so because Age of Calamity, it's kind of one of its major issues. Like one of the main problems with Age of Calamity is just that. It's just that it runs bad. Of course, I that game had an expansion pass. I don't know about you. I didn't even buy that expansion pass. I could not be bothered to play the rest of Age of Calamity.
I honestly cannot remember if I bought that thing or not. To be honest.
So it was had like the master cycle in it and some other bullshit.
Hmm.
I could not even be bothered. But like this game looks better. It looks fun. But I don't know. I think the story of Tears of the Kingdom is just a lot less interesting to me than the story before Breath of the Wild. That's my take on that. Like
Oh,
the story that happened before Breath of the Wild was a relatively interesting premise. You know what I
yeah, because
mean?
I mean,
Like I was interested.
We didn't know too much about the world building and all of that stuff. So that kind of makes sense. But at the same point, I still want to know what happened before the events of Tears of the Kingdom, which ultimately technically plays into the events before even Breath of the Wild's pre-events as well, though.
Yeah,
Because
but we have
they kept showing that same gosh dang cutscene every single time in Tears of the Kingdom. I was like, man, what the freak was really going on back then, though? So
yeah,
I'm
I
glad
don't
we're
know.
gonna finally get our answer in this. It just
Listen,
took a whole nother game.
I'm happy we're gonna see more Ganondorf. I'm happy that they did confirm this will be canonical. But at the same time, like, it's just weird. Like, it's usually when like I'm fine with a game being a prequel once in a while. But the fact of the matter is, like, we not only do we already know what's gonna happen, but we already know that like the imprisoning war stuff doesn't really matter all that much. Like, I don't know. They're gonna fight and then Ganondorf's gonna be like sealed away, and Robert's gonna sacrifice himself, and this and that.
We kind of know the major plot points of what's gonna happen.
And
It's
like,
more so
but
like
like,
the journey along the way is what
yeah,
we're
but
kind of
that's
all
like,
in for.
I guess it's weird because it's not like like Age of Calamity was like an interesting premise because it was actually, if it was canonical, it actually would have been a bad ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would have been cool to get like an actual bad ending to a game like that. A Zelda game of all games have a bad ending leading into a different game. Well, I don't know. Age of Imprisonment, I don't really see how that could possibly work out. And it already feels like they're already kind of cheating by technically kind of putting Link in the game, but not really. Like they have a construct. It looks like there's gonna be like a Zonai construct Link or whatever. I don't know. I guess it's a Zelda game. They got to put him in somewhere, but I don't know. It's just I'm kind of getting sick and tired of the Breath of the Wild stuff. Are you like
I'm not necessarily because
I don't know.
I
We've
put the
stuck
game
around
down.
with
Yeah, because I
we've
put the
stuck
game
around with
down.
this Link and this Zelda so much now. Like this Link and this Zelda are starting to get old to me,
I,
especially when they always act the exact same and they always kind of halfway give us a story, but not really.
I don't really necessarily feel that because Breath of the Wild, that was game number 1. Tears of the Kingdom was game number 2. And in terms of major 3D Zeldas, that is it. And then you got other stuff on the side, like with what we had with Age of Calamity and what now is the Imprisonment War.
But either way,
This kind
just
of
getting
expanded upon it. So yeah, I mean, it's not
well,
necessarily too
it's
bad
the
because all
fact.
the other characters that are surrounded and associated with it as well. If it's just purely only just Link and Zelda, then maybe I got burned out. But if they do anything else beyond this game, Steven, then I'll start to feel it. Because after this, that should conclude
Especially if it
the
has the
Breath of the
same map.
Wild. Yeah, the Breath of the Wild realm of Link and Zelda, and after that, the next new 3D Zelda, it got to go somewhere else. I don't
I
even
just
know if
want a
it can
new.
even
I
be in
You want to know
Hyrule at
what I
this
want?
point, though.
No, that's what I want. I genuinely just want a game that doesn't take place in Hyrule. Maybe keep if you want to keep the same Link and Zelda just on a new adventure, fine. Make them finally make them a couple. Goddamn it, they sleep in the same bed.
All right, we ain't gonna go too much further though, but
Whatever.
they
Well,
did
either way,
confirm.
like yeah, I know I'm getting a little tangent. I'm sorry. Either way though, like Hyrule Warriors looks fun. What were you gonna say?
They did confirm there is game sharing, so that's how you can access it with a Nintendo Switch user if you
I'm
wanted to
up
do
to do
like
that with
that.
you.
So yeah, that's
Online
cool.
multiplayer, yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool to see that. And then they finally gave a release date for this game because it's actually coming out November 6th, 2025. And I'm like, oh, shoot. I was like, dang, it's been a good long hot minute since they confirmed that that was going to be a thing. But hey, I'm all here for it, though. So that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, that concludes that segment for Hyrule Warriors. Then we got another third party game. I was so confused of what the freak this thing is. It wasn't generic, but I was like, what kind of weird island adventure thing is this right here? And then the music started to kick in. I was like, oh shoot! And we were watching this thing. I mean, you weren't watching at the same time as me though, but our good buddy Sonic he was watching it at the same time as me. And I was like, Sonic wake up, boy, wake up! And he was like, oh no, I'm already up. And then, yes, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is apparently a thing. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, technically, Dragon Quest VII was already a thing with its OG release. It got remade on the 3DS, and this is technically the second kind of remake version of it, though. So it got remade twice. And apparently, this is like a super beefy RPG. I did not know. I was talking to
So
Sonic about it.
like
Apparently,
100 hours long.
a little more than 100. But yeah,
The script is multiple books long, like a whole bookshelf worth of books long. He showed me, which is crazy.
yeah, so I was like, man, I did not know 7 was gonna be that long of a JRPG. That's kind of crazy and wild just to think about like that. I do like the art style, the way how it is. It's kind of unique. And shoot, I learned a thing or two about this. They took some dolls that they crafted, scanned those into the game, and that's what they used as the actual models. I was like, what the heck?
That's cool.
So
I
yeah, so
really
they,
like
they
that.
went all out on this thing. We don't have to wait that long at all because this game comes out in like February of next year. I was like, what the heck? Like, they ain't giving us no time to chill. Like, February 5th. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, they hitting on all cylinders over here in
Yeah,
terms
it
of,
looks beautiful, by the way.
yeah, it looks,
Everything about it,
it
not even
looks,
just those models.
yeah, no, it looks absolutely amazing. The only thing that was a little bit jarring was, I think, whenever you're like, maybe a few shots of this game where it's like you were kind of out at sea or something like that, where it's like you could almost see like the edge of the map and it almost looks like you're gonna fall off the edge of the world. That's probably the maybe the most off-putting thing though.
Well,
But like
because
once you're like zoomed in into the actual world itself and you're not too close to the sea or whatever though, then it kind of looks normal to me ish. Once again though, but I don't know. But I need to see
well,
more of the
Zard,
game
it's
though. But
supposed to be.
it's not gonna be like super bad though. But anyway.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's supposed to be like a story, not storybook, but like a diorama thing. It's kind of similar to Mario RPG remake.
Yeah.
So in that way, like it's kind of interesting. Just Mario RPG esque art style for a Dragon Quest game, but even more beautiful, honestly.
Yeah. So not bad, not bad right there. So a good announcement from Square for this one right here. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. That's just one more third party game. I'm gonna wind up picking up more than likely for my Switch 2 though. So yes, I'm all here for it though, and thank goodness because I was like, whew. I was like, yeah, we needed some good solid third party games though. Shortly after that, they gave us some updates on the Nintendo Today app saying, hey, you really check and keep an eye out on that if you want to stay up to date with Kirby Air Rider news. So that made sense right there. Wasn't going to be too bad though. But then you had Mr. Koizumi up in here, and he was talking, giving a spill about what stuff was going to be up next. And then he said, we got some stuff for the Nintendo expansion pack tier thing. I'm like, oh, okay, what is it? I was fully expecting the GameCube. Then I was thinking like some other kind of game. They showed like this little thing with a little black icon. I was like, what is this? And then I saw it was red and black and had Virtual Boy up on that mess. I was like,
I don't
the
have
freak?
words.
What the heck is Nintendo on at this point? I was laughing and I was all here for it, Steven. Like, this was definitely one of the highlights of the show right here. You might feel some kind of way about this mess, but me and the other 7 people that aspired to even play this system, we were all here for it, though. All 7 of us. I was like, heck yes, let's go right here. Man, that would never be on my bingo card to have this silly old Virtual Boy up on the NSO plus expansion pack tier listing thing now. And yes, this is gonna work with the Switch as well as the Switch 2. You literally open the thing up and you just drop the game or drop the system up in there though. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get the whole library of this because there's not that many games that ever released on this system though. 14 at least here in North America though, but I imagine, if you have a Japanese account or whatever, though, I mean, you can download the Virtual Boy thing for the Japan stuff and mess with their games as well. That was exclusive in their market, though. But in order to play this, you're going to need a little bit of accessories to go along with this thing. You can either get the actual headset that's almost like one-to-one with the original hardware back in the day, or you can get like the cardboard cutout, which is like basically like a reskin Labo version of it with the goggles and stuff up in there, though, that you can play with it as well. Now, knowing me, gosh dang, they also kind of revealed the prices for this stuff a little after the presentation. The Labo thing I think is going to be roughly about like 40-ish bucks.
30 or
30,
something.
30,
Actually.
30. Okay, 30. Not too bad for the cardboard one. But the actual headset, if you want that one-to-one, $100. And I was like, that cardboard is only gonna last me for so long. I'm going for the authentic experience. I'm going for the $100 one. I don't care.
Yeah, but the cardboard's gonna be so much more comfortable. Like you don't have to. I don't know. In my mind,
No, because with the cardboard, you need to hold it up to your face. Because it's not sitting on nothing. It's gonna be sitting on the ground on your desk right in front of you, ain't it?
No, the cardboard I'm pretty sure is strapped to your head. Like it's like
I
did
not see anything on that website showing there was something with some straps.
I'm pretty sure it's like Labo VR. Either way, though, the fact of the matter is these games. How the fuck is the system actually gonna check for this?
No, hold up here. Hold up, Steven. I'm looking on the thing right now. I'm looking on the thing right now.
Fine.
They literally have, and I have this pulled up on the stream right now. You holding the Switch 2 like in handheld mode and putting that mess straight up to your face. Like
Oh
they
my
got the
god, with the
goggles and
Joy-Cons
everything.
attached.
So with the Joy Cons attached and stuff. So you're literally like walking around hoisting this thing up to your face like that. There ain't no straps with this mess. That's how you will play with the cardboard version. Whereas if you had the standard OG setup, you could at least put your face up near it, playing on a desk, but you can have your arms down. If that's the
That's
difference,
fucking
heck
crazy.
yes. I'm getting the OG hardware because I'm not gonna play
Well,
like that.
either one of them is uncomfortable as fuck. But yeah,
Hey, at least with the Virtual Boy one, I could probably get my desk set up to where I can just sit in my chair as if like I was about to get on my PC, put my head up to it, drop my arms down, probably split the Joy-Con so they can just like loosely hang next to me and then just play it like that. Shoot, I might get real experimental with this thing, Steven. I might actually
all
get
of
some
that
custom
works.
straps and actually like strap that mess to my head.
Yeah,
I'm
all
I'm
of that
dedicated to the
works.
cause for this Virtual Boy mess because I have not played any Virtual Boy games. I played every single not every game, but at least one game from every system at some point. But the Virtual Boy is like unknown territory. It's like the last little bit of unknown territory I have with Nintendo.
Yeah,
So I'm all
I
here
think
for
it
this
would
mess.
be. I think it would be really funny if you could just get some 3D glasses and it does the same thing. I really hope that's like I hope that 3D glasses are enough to completely bypass this fucking stupid accessory. Because theoretically, Zard, there's no way that the system can actually tell that it's inside of the cardboard shell. So
I
when
guess
Nintendo
not. Yeah.
so when Nintendo says you quote unquote need the accessory to play Virtual Boy, they're lying. They are quite literally lying. You need
Well,
it.
no, no,
You no,
because
you need
well,
it to
hold
experience
up.
the 3D. You need it to
Experience the
experience the
3D,
3D.
yes,
But at the
Steven.
same time,
But
you don't need the fucking 3D.
But
You
I
some of
know
those
you I
games
know
are
you may
yeah.
not need the 3D, but let's say this. The moment that you choose the game that you want to boot up in, it forces the system to show that game in two spears. And that's it. So if you're gonna see double spears in your handheld only form, and it might disable it in dock mode. Like if you have it docked and you boot it up, it's gonna be like, oh, put it in
We'll
handheld mode, pull
see.
it out the dock
But
or
like
whatever. But I'm
Nintendo
pretty sure they're gonna show like kind of like how you had the Labo VR stuff with like Mario Odyssey and stuff like that. It's gonna show two big circular little things, and unless you like playing like that, it's not gonna be like a whole like normal square looking screen or nothing like that. I
yeah,
have
but
a
it's like
feeling
I
that's
guess
the
the
way
way
how it's
I
gonna
see
play
it,
out.
since this emulator is on Switch 1, they're just gonna find a way to fix it on like on Switch 1 you'll just be able to play these games normally.
I mean, if they,
I'm sure they're
yeah,
just
if
gonna
they play
mod it.
around and tinker around with it a little bit,
I
then I
don't know.
guess maybe I don't
It's
know.
just so shit. Not only do you need the $100 accessory, it's not even it's you need it. You need either the cardboard or the $100 accessory, but you also need an NSO subscription, okay? And then once you have your NSO subscription and that, you have to sit down in an uncomfortable spot and rest your head on this thing. And then once you do that, finally you can play a couple subpar games.
Hey, all seven of us, we're gonna be happy. Forget whatever Steven says over here. I don't care. I'm gonna be
Just
here
mod
for
a
it to play.
3DS.
I'm gonna be no.
Just
I'm not modding that. No, no. I
just
want the real
mod a
authentic
3DS.
experience. Forget that mess. Because if you wanted
And then
to
at that
actually
point,
get a real experience from the Virtual Boy up on this mess, those things ain't cheap. We're talking about $300 to $400 for just to get one of those things, and it's the wild
yeah,
wild west with that mess.
just
Because
to prove
now, because like sometimes one
it's
of the eyes will go out, or like a ribbon cable might be acting up and stuff like that. And then the games, even though there's only like 14 of them that released over here in North America, those things ain't cheap. So only paying $100 for your existing NSO subscription and your existing probably already switched to at this point, it's still gonna be cheaper getting that
you
$100
can
headset than it is to actually get real hardware that actually works and it's not gonna actually blind you or nothing like that.
okay. Well, guess what? These systems, you can say that about anything. Yes, it's technically cheaper to get all of the SNES online games than it is to actually go buy them physically. That doesn't mean they should do that. Doesn't mean they should require that. These games are so old, they're not even that good, and they require a shitty way to play them. Nintendo should offer the authentic version as an option. And then for anyone that's normal that wants to play these games on their TV, add that. I don't fucking know. I don't get it. Like, I think this is one of like the riskiest moves Nintendo has ever done. Try to sell a $100 accessory for a
But
online
also
system that's
30 bucks,
eventually gonna
Steven.
go
Also
down.
30 bucks.
Yeah, okay, or $30. And the fact of the matter is, it's gonna eventually shut down. So this accessory by itself only has limited time
Well, you
functionality.
say eventually shut down, but here we are in like what 27? Oh, I don't know when the NSO service originally started. I think that was back in 2018. The Switch
Zard,
2
they will
lasted for
eventually
eight
shut
years.
down.
You say eventually
It,
shut down, but I'm
yes,
just saying based upon what we already got right now. When in
servers
it,
cost money.
I know when the NSO service originally started, roughly around 2018 ish, give or take, to where we're currently at right now in 2025. It lasted the whole Switch generation. It's going to last the whole Switch 2 generation. So by the time we're done to the end of the Switch 2 at a bare minimum, that those servers would have been up for 16 years for all of that stuff from NES all the way up to that. If they continue to have that move on to whatever comes after the Switch 2, you're already looking at this service being up for like upwards to like 24 years. I don't think this is going anywhere anytime soon. So the
All of
people
this
that,
work
so the
to
people that say
justify
that, I'm just saying, I feel like Nintendo, they're just gonna keep this mess rolling. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Regardless of the fact, though, at least for now, in the here and now, and the permanent now,
well,
if you play
Zard,
Xenoblade, you know what I'm talking about.
Zard, but
We got a
you
good
and
way to
me,
play. We got a good way to play Virtual Boy
like,
games.
that's cool, but me and you, more than anyone, should understand the importance of these games being preserved. Because we buy retro games, me and you. We have bought retro games. Imagine if you just couldn't. Imagine if all of the GameCube games were released on like servers that went down. Eventually you're gonna realize, oh my god, this virtual boy is a thing is now just a paperweight. I can't even use it for its intended purpose, and you'll be down $100, and you can't even do the authentic experience. Then you bought it for a limited time experience, and now you just have a paperweight, and the experience isn't even that good. These games are not that fucking good. Okay, they're not worth $100 in the first place. They're not worth these games being slowly trickled out. These games, it's 14 games, and they're slowly drip feeding them out again. Who the hell cares? I genuinely don't
We
understand.
should have all those games at least in a year's time. I know
We
it's something
that's
just to
no, that's
market that.
fucking ridiculous. It's virtual. It's fucking like 2 megabyte ROMs. There's no reason
Boy,
that you
calm
can't just
down. Let
put
me
them
be
all up
happy about
there.
my Virtual Boy stuff.
Like,
Oh
no,
shoot.
no, 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 no,
See,
no.
now this
Let
rant
me
is
be
going too
happy.
long.
Let me
But
let me
we're
consume.
almost to the
Let
top
me
of the two
consume
hours
a
and we're
hundred
not even through
dollars
half
plus.
of these announcements, bro.
Well, okay. Well, guess what? Stop defending one of the most just stupid decisions Nintendo's ever made.
Oh gosh. Anyway,
All right,
I love the Virtual Boy. I love this. All
if
seven
that's
of
good
us
for
are
you.
happy.
Have you even ever played a single game on the Virtual Boy?
No, I
Or do you
haven't.
just
Well, I'm just
oh my
saying.
well
I'm
okay
just
then
saying.
shut the fuck up.
I'm
You
just saying.
I
I'm just saying. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
I
Trust
can't
me.
wait. I can't wait in a couple months where you say that these games you play this once. You're gonna play this
No,
once.
I'm not gonna play it once. I'm gonna play every game in this library. How long I will
All
play
right.
each game, we'll see though. But there's only
Yes,
14. There's not that many games I
yeah.
can say I played the whole library of whatever game console it is.
You're gonna spend a collective 2 hours playing this, and you're never gonna
I gotta at
touch the
least play Jack
accessory again.
Bros. I gotta play Wario Land, and I need to play the Mario Tennis. Like those are the top three. But anyway, though, I digress. We gotta keep.
Slop.
We got it. We
Just
got it. We gotta keep. No, it's not slot. We gotta keep
it
this.
is
We got
slop.
no, it ain't. But we
It's
gotta
a
keep this
hundred
show. We
dollars.
gotta keep this show moving though. But
If
anyway,
it
though.
was $20, fine, but it's 100 fucking
30,
dollars.
30 bucks for the cardboard, Steven, is the minimum
Oh,
to get
I
in.
yeah. 30 bucks for a shitty cardboard accessory that hardly it's a plastic shell. It should be $30 for the replica.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on. All
Yeah,
righty.
move on.
So after they talked about the Virtual Boy stuff, they managed to hit with a few more third parties here and there though. They did manage to showcase off that we got Fatal Frame 2. I'm not one of those people that been up in the Fatal Frame series though, but I feel like has this been showing up in like the past few couple directs every now and then? I feel like
I don't think so. It's a remake.
I know it's a remake, but I
Zard.
felt like it also showed up not another remake, but there was like another Fatal Frame or something like
Yeah,
that in like
they
one of the
all look the
past
same.
directs. But yeah,
All
so
of these games look the damn same.
yeah, so we got another one of those, and then they kind of went through some more third party barrage of different stuff though. Cool thing is they did manage to do some Switch 2 updates for Stardew Valley. Like you can actually play that one with game share and stuff like that, mouse controls
Couple
and stuff.
indies.
So yeah, so that was pretty good. I got Power Wash Simulator, all of that mess though. Man, how many times has that showed up in directs? Like my gosh. Suika game and stuff like that. They got that up in there as well. And then we get on back to some more first party goodness because whole shoot. Everybody and their mom has been confused out of the what the freak is going on with this series over here. We wanted to know release dates for this mess though. Why they ain't showing this mess? Is it going to be possibly delayed into 2026 once again? And we were just kind of all hands up in the air like we don't know what the heck is going on with this series though. But then Samus, our old girl, showed up on a bike and said, "Hey, don't fear. I just arrived at the party just in the nick of time. No, I ain't gonna delay this right now. We did manage to get a release date for this thing, and it's coming out in like that first week of December. Whole freaking shoot. We finally got a date for this game. Everybody can calm the freak down now, because I thought this was gonna slip into 2026. But yes,
Yeah,
December is when it comes out. Whole shoot.
they look so fucking good. It looks so fucking good.
Have you seen those people make those weird arguments of like, man, these graphics look kind of subpar while
They're
Samus was riding around
wrong.
on the bike in the middle of a desert? I don't understand what they were
It's
expecting
lighting.
for.
Like, well, what do you fucking think it looks like in the desert? Like, have these people ever been to a desert?
I guess apparently not though, because I mean, like, yes, it's supposed
Like,
to be open, it's supposed to be barren. You see a few things off in the distant horizon and stuff, and there's not going to be that much more. Fast forward a little bit further, you'll see all these other cutscenes and stuff, and environments and stuff that Samus is traversing and stuff, and the
literally
game
just
looks
move
really
forward.
good.
The,
I
the
don't
no
understand it.
the environment they showed at the fucking start of the trailer is beautiful. I don't understand these people. Like, what? It looks, I don't know, everything about this game's looking great. We've seen a bunch of, new and returning abilities alike. I'll admit, they really, the psychic powers thing does not seem like it's going to be interesting. I don't know why they kind of made a selling point on that.
I mean, they
They
just said
like,
there is
or
psychic
like,
powers. They
well,
did not
it's like
show us
on the box
every type.
art.
If it's
It's
anything
like
like
the
the
main thing on the
Aeon
box
abilities
art.
that we have from Samus Returns, there's a lot of different stuff that they can do with it. They're just not showing it, and I'm
It's
okay
just,
with that.
oh, it's just weird they even made a focus on it last time. Like, oh,
Well,
she
because
can
think about
open
it, because the
doors.
psychic abilities, number one, you can already use it to open up doors. Number two,
It's
you can already use it to ride this motorcycle.
it's
If you can ride a
I don't
stinking motorcycle with these abilities, and who knows what else you're going to be able to do with this
I
mess.
don't think she's using the psychic abilities to
I
ride the
feel like it
motorcycle.
is with that purplish color that's going on with that bike. Something
Yeah,
about it.
but like it's a motorcycle. Like it just feels like, I don't know, psychic ability. Like she opens doors all the time. It's just weird. I don't know. I think the psychic abilities are a little underwhelming, but everything else looks cool. The bike looks fucking awesome. I think the bike's name is Viola.
Hmm.
And so it's the Viola, and then the suit that she's wearing. You know that like really red suit that she wears.
Yeah.
It's called the Viola suit. I don't know if she like wears it specifically when she's riding the bike. I don't know the exact details. All I know is that it looks really cool. I like that there's like this combat. I'm assuming these desert section, you're like gonna, you're gonna travel around, and then that you get, this is how you can basically do fast travel. Travel around on the surface of the planet, go all the way to like a base, and then go down into the planet, which is where like the main exploration is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. Metroid Prime had a lot of areas on the surface. You had the ice area, you had the Chozo ruins. It really was later in the game you started to go deep into the planet, as you usually do.
Yeah. So overall, I'm looking forward to this game. And they did manage to
December
hit us.
4th.
Yeah, December 4th. That's the official release date. So yeah, somehow they managed to squeeze this game out just in the nick of time now. So now at this point, the rest of the holiday season is pretty much filled. Like you got Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 in the first half of October. Second half of October, you have Pokemon Legends ZA. More on that a little bit later. First half of November, you got the Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Second half of November, you have Kirby Air Riders. And then the first half of December, or technically the first week, you got Metroid Prime 4. That's a stacked holiday, and you got something coming out on every single one of those months. Two things at least, with the exception of December. So yeah, really cool stuff. And then at the very end of the trailer, they managed to announce a few more extra goodies over here. They did manage to talk about, hey, there is like a little collector's book, like the journey to launch begins. Like they have a Metroid Prime 1 through 3, a visual retrospective. That's coming out on October 28th, so you can buy that book, get familiar with the art, the story that leads up from 1 through 3, but right before 4. I might pick that up because I do like myself some Metroid related stuff. So I might get that. But then also, we got more amiibo, Steven. Heck freaking yes. You got Samus in her, in a traditional suit. You got Samus over there on that Viola, which that's the name of the bike. And you also got Silex. And they kind of staggered these amiibo out just by a little bit. Like two of these amiibo, standard Samus along with one on her bike, that's coming out on November 6th. But then you have the Silex amiibo, and that comes out on launch day on December 4th. I'm kind of glad they split that up, so that way it hits my wallet a little bit better because it's already expensive. I've already pre-ordered all three of these stupid amiibos, though. But
I'm probably gonna get the bike one and the Silex one. I don't know. Just plain Samus is cool and all, but it's $30. Okay.
yeah,
The Metroid Dread amiibo, I got a 2-pack of those for $30.
yeah. Once
That's
again,
the
them
difference.
tariffs, goodness. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
planning
know.
on getting all three. You're getting at least two of them. Yeah, probably the two cooler ones. I will agree with that though. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting all of this stuff up, and I'm ready for this game to come out December 4th. Yeah. Oh man, I'm ready for this mess. Thank goodness. All right, so
It's gonna be so good. I even if it's just even if it's just like as good as Prime One, that still means it's gonna be a fantastic game. I don't even care if it's like the best Prime game or this or that. Like I just want it to be a nice, fun Metroid game. I'm itching for that type of game again, and it's obviously gonna be eye candy. Finally, like a nice technical showcase for Switch 2.
yeah. So I'm ecstatic through the moon, and I can't wait to get this game in my hands though. So yeah, so that's gonna do it in terms of the Metroid Prime 4 thing. And then we move over to another first party game for a game that's already out and is getting DLC. And boy, oh boy, when I saw them trees, I was like, man, oh man, this is truly the year of my Kong. Because gosh dang it, Donkey Kong Bonanza is getting DLC. And we're going back to the jungle, man, where it all started at DK's original island. And I was like, oh, you have got to be kidding me. Yes, you can explore DK's island, the hut, the home where he gets to know all of his buddies, him, Diddy, Dixie, Cranky. Shoot, Squawks is even here, and Ramby. And I was like, oh, heck yeah. So, yes, you get to explore a whole new island, the home of Donkey Kong and stuff like that. That's part one of this DLC. But then the other thing, which is the main major thing, is Emerald Rush, which technically takes everything you love about Donkey Kong in terms of him collecting bananas, fossils, and just gold, and it flips it on its head and say, hey, look, we're going to call these things emeralds now, and we're putting a little roguelike experience up on this thing. So you're basically going through Boy Kong, the enemy that's known for the whole entire game of Donkey Kong Bonanza. He basically hires you and says, hey, go out here and find a whole bunch of emeralds and stuff scattered across this island. And you're trying to do it and hit these quotas within a certain time period. And it's a very addictive loop, and you keep going in and out, and you're trying to get as much, emeralds in these runs as humanly possible. And along the way, you can hit bananas, which will give you some of your abilities back because you actually get reset to ground zero with all your, you know, basically like all your banana abilities and stuff like that, though. So you have to kind of get them back along your run. And then also you can get, the fossils and stuff, which will give you like temporary bonus quirks and stuff like that that will just kind of help you either collect more emeralds or make things a little bit easier for your run and stuff like that. So it's highly addictive. It's not just only dedicated for the island itself, but it's also applied to other areas that you have managed to unlock and play throughout all these other sub layers throughout the whole entire game.
Yeah, no, Emerald Rush is really fun. I found out that, at first it only shows 6 layers playable, but once you get further in Emerald Rush and keep playing, you unlock 5 more.
Oh, so
So you
there's
can
11 in
basically,
total. Okay.
yes, you can basically play Emerald Rush in every single like main layer, like all of the big ones. You
Except for the
can't play it in,
super late game ones. Those are off
yeah, like
limits.
Forbidden Layer, yeah, stuff like that, like the Planet Core, this and that, like the racing layer, the ones that really are nothing. You can't do it in those, obviously. Either way, though, like you have a lot of content there, a lot of fun stuff to do in the game, obviously. Emerald Rush is a really fun roguelike mode. It's relatively fast paced. It really tests your skills and how well you know the layouts of some of these areas. You need to know where those fossils and those bananas are if you really want to succeed in the mode and get the super high combos, because I've seen some insane combos online. People maxing out the count, and I found out that there's actually, I don't know if you've seen, if you got an A rank at all, but there's letter rankings, and above A, if you do really really good, you can get a V rank, and that's extremely hard to get.
Oh, kind of like your S rank equivalent. Yeah, okay. I can
Kind
see
of, yeah,
that.
you can get a V rank, and that's pretty hard to get. You really have to maximize the skills and all that. It is a lot of fun stuff to it. I'm enjoying it, but I hate being negative because I've been so fucking negative about this direct. It feels like, but it's $20, which is fucking way too high for this. I like the DLC, but DK Island is empty. There's nothing to do on DK Island
Yeah, that
besides
island was
play
just
Emerald
mainly,
Rush on
yeah,
it.
mainly geared for Emerald Rush. I was thinking maybe
And that
there'll be like some bananas or something hidden or some
how
fossils,
hard
but
how hard would it have been? There is actually one puzzle, kind of one thing you can do, and it involves that. I don't know if you've seen the banana
the
at the
funky
top of that.
banana, yeah.
Yeah, there is actually an extremely cryptic puzzle that I'll explain to you later
Okay.
regarding that banana. It's actually, I don't, basically it's like a code that the whole community spent the first day cracking. It's weird.
Hmm.
Either way though, besides that, no, it's like barren. There's nothing to do. I love the references on the actual island. It's cool, but I just wish they filled it with shit to do.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I mean you got bananas and fossils all in that Emerald Rush, so it felt like
Yeah,
they could have at least put normal stuff up on there. Just
it couldn't have
just to
been
do a
that
few
hard.
things up on there though. But I do like all the fossils and stuff. Not fossils, all the statues you get as rewards from all the bananium chips you get from Emerald Rush. So it kind of gives a nice little collecting thing. So especially if you're someone like me or Steven that beat the game and even 100% it gives you something else to do up in this game that kind of will keep you, bringing you back to play in this game. Because otherwise, I did everything I could out of this game. There would have been no reason for me to really go back outside of just playing for the sake of having fun. I'm not a speedrunner like Steven is, though. But
Yeah,
now that
I'm
gave me
gonna
a
play
reason to
more. Yeah,
actually, just fire it up every now and then and just see how well I can do within a certain run in a given layer or something like that.
I'm definitely gonna play more of it.
So yeah, so not bad. Only $20. It doesn't break the bank or anything like that. Wish it was a little bit cheaper, but hey, in a year of my Kong, I never thought my boy DK will ever manage to get any kind of DLC whatsoever. So I'll take it. I'll take any
No,
kind of Donkey Kong content I can get. That's just kind of where I'm
no,
at with my series.
sorry, I'm just. Oh, we're done talking about Donkey Kong, right?
No, yeah, that was it. That was the last thing I was
All
gonna
right.
say.
I'm sorry. It's getting late. Can we really quickly try to like lightning around through the Pokemon stuff and whatever else right
Yeah,
before
the
the
Pokemon
final
stuff,
announcement?
I didn't have too much to say about it. The
Okay.
the first thing they had was the Pokepia thing. Well, that's literally like a ripoff of like Animal
It's like a
Crossing.
life sim Animal Crossing like Pokemon thing. Got a human Ditto which is fucked up and really disturbing.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, shoot. I know this isn't necessarily going to be a game for me. And they did confirm that this game comes out in 2026. So
It does
that's
not
another
look like
one.
a Switch 2 game. It's not really that nice looking.
It really isn't. And I'm like, I don't know who this is for. I could tell it's extremely for like the casual audience. It ain't going to be people like me and you. But
Yeah,
I guess it's apparently a thing. This is like I would dub as like the mini Pokemon Direct segment right here though. Stuff that I thought they would have saved for like their own little, because we don't know when this game's coming out in 2026. They could
yeah.
have saved it for the Pokemon Presents thing in February though, but they decided to announce it here. So I was like, okay, whatever though. After that announcement though, they did manage to talk about more stuff about Pokemon Legends ZA. They managed to hit us with 5 new megas. 3 of them being of the original Kalos starters, so Greninja, Chestnut, and Delphox. I think out of all of them, I think I like Delphox's probably the best. Then Greninja's. Chestnuts look
Grenade.
weird. He just has like a
Wait,
extra hair or whatever.
what? No, no. Chestnuts does a ton. What does Greninja's do? He's got a big shuriken and he's upside down. That's
And he's
it.
black.
That's his shiny already.
I don't know. I don't have a shiny Greninja like that. I don't know.
Okay, well, whatever. You know what I mean. Mega Chestnut, I'm looking at it right now. Not only does he gain like a crown and a cape, he's like a king now. He's got a whole crown, he's got a cape going on, he's got obviously like more spikes on him and this and that. But his shell has kind of turned into like armor. It's got like platings on it. It's got armor platings. So he's basically gone full like king mode. I really like it. And he's also got a staff, I think, like a grass staff.
Yeah.
I think Chestnut's probably my favorite out of all of them, which I'm glad they finally gave him something interesting. It's weird. Apparently, you have to play the game's ranked mode to get them. I
Yeah, to
don't know
get
how
their
I feel about
to
that.
get their mega stones, so they're not normally found in game. Which until they do
Kind of
something
weird.
weird with like a mystery gift thing or something, then yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I was like, dang, whatever.
And for all three of them, especially, it's like really.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was it in terms of new content for that. But then they managed to hit us with one more announcement for a Pokemon related news segment. And it's also dealing with Pokemon Legends ZA because you saw 2 little chubby little rats running across the screen. And I was like, wait, what the heck is going on over here, though? And yes, and also dealing with Hoopa, too. That really kind of threw me off for a loop until I saw the Mega Stones, though. Yeah, we got confirmation that Mega Raichu X along with Mega Raichu Y is apparently going to be a thing. And they said that this is a DLC kind of pack related thing where you're going to get both of these two and more for Pokemon Legends ZA. And it's called
Announcing
Mega
announcing
Dimensions.
DLC.
And I'm like,
Announcing DLC before it comes out is bold.
yeah. So I'm like, oh, goodness. Well, and that's the other thing, though, too. It's paid DLC. And here's how they're getting you, Steven, because I'm looking at the fine print now, and I'm just now looking at this. I hadn't saw this prior to this moment. Holo X and Holo Y, those are those Mega Stones, and they're available roughly around the time when the game comes out, October
No,
16th.
that's just gear. Like that's just like customization for your character. The megas don't come out till the DLC comes out,
And then you got additional story content coming soon. So
which is the entire DLC.
yeah.
It's they say it's 2 waves, but it's literally just pre-order cosmetics and then the DLC.
Yeah, so that's paid DLC. I think it's priced at $30. So if you got the Switch 2 edition of this game, which is 70, plus this, you're looking at $100. I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah, it is bold to announce this stuff early when they honestly could have saved this until that February Pokemon Presents next year. Because I mean, I don't think it's gonna come. This DLC is coming out before that point, so they could have saved it. I don't know. It's kind of weird unless they got that much stuff to show in that direct later
I don't
on,
know.
then I don't know because they threw quite a bit
I
of stuff up in this direct.
well, to be fair, we hardly know anything about Mega Dimension. It the fucking it looks fine. The Mega Raichus, I guess they're fine.
I think I'm more of a fan of X because X looks more like Raichu souped up versus Y, where it's like more Pikachu inspired or whatever though. But yeah, but yeah, they look cool. They look all right. Nothing too crazy, but it's whatever. All right, so after that, ooh, if I'm hitting the right button. Okay, so after that, then we got a few other games that was kind of in the third party realm, which we can kind of zip through this real fast. They had Danganronpa 2+2. I think it's like a remake of 2, but they got a lot of whole new stuff added to it, so it kind of makes it feel like a fresh new experience. So you got that for fans out there. Then you also got some other stuff like Dynasty Wars, all of that stuff, though. I'm never a fan every time when they show that up in like any one of these directs or whatever, though. Then they managed to hit us with another good look at Monster Hunter Stories 3. So, this got another cool little look at the game, which I'm really
We finally
excited.
got gameplay.
Yeah. Got gameplay. I'm glad about that. And they hit us with a release date for this game as well. It's coming out in the month of March. I'm trying to fast forward to exactly when they told me that date again. Oh, went too fast. March 13th is when this game comes out, though. So, hey, now I got a good solid March game for me, though. So, you know what? I'm all here for it, though. And then after that, then they got like a handful of other third-party games as well. And that almost takes it to the very end of the show where there's like almost 2 more announcements left. And I was just really thinking to myself, I was like, what are these last 2 games or last couple announcements, should I say, that Nintendo's going to wind up hitting us with outside of all the other games that kind of went back and recapped on the sizzle reel like Persona 3 Reload and stuff. And lo and behold, it was none other, Steven, than Resident Evil 9.
I can't wait.
And they confirmed that that's going to be day and date with the other versions for like PS5 and Xbox Series consoles and stuff. You're going to be able to play that the same day. So that's good.
Precedent they have to send. Now, 7 and 8 are also coming, and I'm getting those immediately. I can't wait.
Yeah, so apparently 7 and 8, so Biohazard and Village, they're also coming out the same day that this is coming out. All 3 of those games are dropping at the same time. And I'm like, oh, shoot, that's a lot. So if you're a Resident Evil fan, you're going to be eating pretty good on the Switch, too, if that's where you want to choose to play all these games, though. And I feel like slowly but surely they'll do the same thing like how Sega's treating Yakuza, and they're going to start putting everything up on here, though. Like, you're going to probably see 2, you're going to see 3 up on there, you're going to see Resident Evil 4. Like, they're going to move everything over here. Give them enough time. They're going to slowly start just dropping them in waves of all the other older Resident Evil games and stuff and the remakes and stuff like that. So, yeah, so that's pretty cool. It sets a nice precedence that, yeah, we're going to be taken care of from Capcom, moving from this point forward into the future, though. So, yeah, it was at this point in the show, Steven, I was almost worried that they were going to end the show off with Resident Evil. And I thought that was going to be the last announcement. I was like, oh, man, I guess that's going to be it. And I saw Koizumi, I was like, dang. I was like, all right, I guess that's it. Pack it up. We're done. It was a pretty solid direct. I didn't get the one thing I wanted to get out of this presentation. That was going to be it. And then Koizumi said, hold up. We got one more for you. And I was like, wait a gosh dang minute. We got one more announcement? What the freak is this going to be? And then I looked at this old city. I was like, it looks kind of old. And then I saw a Coliseum. I was like, wait a minute. And then I saw that battle arena. And I stood up on my hind legs and I saw the first 2 characters. I said, this punk gave us stinking Fire Emblem. I was like, heck, freaking yes. I didn't even need to show I knew it didn't even need to show me the units moving on the battlefield in the traditional way how we do the battles in Fire Emblem, though. I was like, heck, freaking yes. I was thinking we were going to get Genealogy of a Holy Water. I was looking for my eyes for Sigurd to show up at any given point. But then the more and more I saw this trailer, I was like, wait a minute. This is a brand new game. I was like, oh my gosh. I was certainly not expecting it to be a brand new game. I was almost certainly for sure if Fire Emblem was in this presentation, it was going to be a remake. But to have a brand new one, I was like, dang. And I was looking at all of these characters and stuff. And Steven, I was ecstatic through the moon because we're back to form, baby. We're back to form. We ain't got these bright, vivid colors and stuff that we had within Fire Emblem Engage and stuff. Nothing like that. back to the traditional
Oh,
feeling
there's
medieval stuff. Shoot, even that one dude that looks like Alucard up in this mess though, he looked like he was ripped
yeah.
straight out of
There's
Conquest, Fire Emblem
there's no
Fates.
problem. There's no problem with vivid colors. Okay, the problem is with VTuber ass fucking shitty designs.
Yeah, no, but some of those worlds and stuff like that. First one that you were in and engaged, it was just a little too bright. This one just feels like, it's traditional Fire Emblem the way how we kind of known it and love. The cool thing they took from Engage was just how fluid the characters, the animation, how all these things are moving. They took that element from Engage, which I said for the longest time, take that lesson. If you're gonna pull one thing out of Engage, just only pull that. We don't need nothing else though. And yeah, it sounded like they listened to me. And this is heavily. It seems like they're pulling a lot of elements from Three Houses because as you're looking, you start looking at some of the weapons they're using. They're like, wait a minute, I thought I saw that weapon before in the past. They hit us with the title Fortune's Weave, and I was like, yes, I'm all here for it. And then I thought I heard a familiar voice. I was like, what the heck? And I look up over here, the woman on the chair, and the voice. That's Sothis from Fire Emblem Three Houses. And I was like, gosh dang it, we got some continuation from Three Houses. And at that point, I'm like, look, I'm okay now. I am not going to be scared about where the series is going to go. We're not going down that dark path where Engage could have took us down with that weird old anniversary game. We are back to form, baby. Back to form. I'm like, yes, some people love Engage. It's not necessarily an extremely bad game from gameplay aspect alone. But that story and art style rubbed me off the wrong kind of way. I was about ready to put it down as soon as I got done with that story. The story was atrocious. But now we're back to form. And it looks like the way how, if you're looking at it and everything, it seems like you're going to pick a side. So they might be pulling some things and inspirations from like Fates in terms of like, there might be two different ways how you're handling the story depending on who you might be able to side up with. There might be that customizable, or not extremely customizable, but like a protagonist like where you chose what byleth, male or female. It seems like that might still be the case because at the end of the trailer, when Sothis was talking to you, it's like, oh, it seemed like you had forgotten me. I mean, it looked like they were talking to another character there, but it
Yeah,
also looked like another main important character was that boy that was riding on a weird old ostrich out of all things. I was like, okay, we're doing stuff weird like that. All right. But yeah, it seems like there's some things you can kind of dig through, and I'm still kind of analyzing and still watching this trailer from time to time though. But man, this was the game for me. Coming out in 2026. Don't know when. Probably the second half of 2026, maybe around the summerish time when roughly Three Houses came out. But I'm all here for it. I'm sold. I'm excited through the moon, and I can't wait to get my hands on this next new Fire Emblem game. There's my sermon.
no, I gotcha. It's cool, obviously, that they're doing a new Fire Emblem. I expected this. I expected that they were gonna be doing something soon. I thought it was gonna be 3D Mario and Fire Emblem. We got one of them.
Yeah, so I was telling you, Steven, for the longest time, I don't think they were gonna do 3D Mario because I felt like they were gonna give Donkey Kong a little bit more time to shine, and hence, yeah, they sure enough were. They had DLC plans for this boy.
I thought there was a chance, but no, didn't
No,
happen.
yeah. So I mean, there's a chance next year at some point if they want, like in that February presentation, if they do one for a direct there though. But overall, I would say this direct was killer and barely any. I mean, yes, there were some filler and some third party slop here and there though. But I'm looking back at this list, Steven. I'm like, how many first party games did we get? I mean, throwing out the Mario
If we're
movie.
talking about new ones, I'm not talking.
Well,
I'm not
brand new
counting.
ones,
I'm
brand
not
new ones.
counting Mario Galaxy 1 and 2.
I
Okay,
was just talking about
I'm count.
anything first party
Okay,
wise, and yes,
okay.
it's a pretty big list. But
Mo-
brand new
Stuff we didn't
ones.
know. Stuff we didn't know. Mario Tennis Fever. Mario Wonders Switch 2 Edition. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. And I'm just considering new game announcements. Pokemon Pokopia. Um, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. And that's all of the new announcements. And then we got release dates for Hyrule Warriors, Metroid Prime 4, a release window for Tomodachi Life, and just a follow up on that game. new direct coming for Kirby Air Riders. Like there's a lot here, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of good and there's also a lot of bad. Like a lot of the pricing stuff is terrible. A couple exceptions like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Hades 2, which I don't know if you know this, Hades 2 is getting full physical release on the Switch too. It's getting the game is going to be on the cartridge and it's going to work on both the Switch 1 and the Switch 2, like the
Oh,
same
Hades too.
cartridge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which is awesome. It's just basically what Nintendo is doing with their games for that game. Either way, though, I don't know. It's yeah, back and forth, back and forth. I keep thinking, oh, this announcement was cool. Oh, it's $70. Oh, Kirby Air Riders amiibo. That's cool. Oh, they're $50. Hyrule Warriors. Oh, that's cool. Oh, $70. And we don't
We
even know
knew
if it's gonna
Hyrule
be
Warriors
good.
was already gonna be
You know
$70
what I
though.
mean? But Age of Calamity already kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm really skeptical before I buy this game. I hope it's good.
Mm.
It's just Nintendo does not have killer announcements yet. They don't have any big game coming out that people can look forward to, like a Mario or a Zelda or a Smash. They don't have that yet. So right now, we just have this. We like, when people think of what's coming in the Switch 2's future, really the only thing right now to look forward to, I guess the furthest thing out would be Yoshi in the Mysterious Book and Mario Tennis. We don't have a killer announcement yet, which is what we kind of need. Metroid Prime 4 is probably going to be an amazing game, but it's not enough.
Yeah. So
We
now, if you were to
I
look
don't know.
at everything, so from here moving on forward, everything that we know first party wise, you got Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 in October. Pokemon Legends ZA also in October. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment in November. Kirby Air Riders in November. Metroid Prime 4 in December. Mario Tennis Fever in February. Super Mario Bros. Wonder 2 Switch Edition in spring 2026. Yoshi Mysterious Book in spring 2026. Tomodachi Life the Dream spring 2026. You got Splatoon Raiders in 2026. You got Pokemon Pokepia in 2026. You have Pokemon Champions as well as 2026. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave in that same year, and Rhythm Heaven. That's 14 games to look forward to starting from now all the way to what could be all the way to the end of 2026. And that's probably not even all of them. They're probably going to announce even more that come out that same year. That's crazy to think about. That's a lot of games. A lot of games for pretty much almost any kind of fan out there. Yes, you don't have your big, I would say, like a big time hitter like a 3D Mario, a 3D Zelda, a Smash Brothers. You don't have nothing like that, but you got everything from like the small niche stuff to like moderate stuff to almost mid big stuff. It's pretty much all there. Granted, anything that would be that super major holiday title game, they'll probably hit you at the start of next year just to keep it fresh on everybody's mind. But at least now we got a pretty good idea of where to switch to with a little bit of some stuff for the Switch, where it's all going to currently stand at right now. So I don't think this is nothing that really to snuff at, especially listing out all 14 of those games, all first party games, let alone a few third party games that anybody else might pick up along the way. So for people that was kind of doubting, there's not a lot of stuff for Switch 2. I mean, you got quite a bit now. There ain't nothing to snuff at, really.
Yeah, Nintendo's definitely pushing the envelope with their fucking pricing. I think a lot of people are going to start getting mad. Like, I think Nintendo, I don't know. Nintendo is not gonna change the prices, but they would be wise, at least for the amiibo, to lower them.
I wish the Amiibo it could have,
Like
but I know they got their
you,
hands
you're not
partially
gonna sell
tied,
these.
unfortunately. But
Like these will not sell at the price they are at.
they're gonna sell a little bit. Just probably not to the level of what they're expecting it
They're gonna be
to.
rotting. They're gonna be rotting on shelves. More accurately.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see on all of that though. But outside of that, that basically does it in terms of everything I wanted to talk about in the Nintendo Direct, and that's gonna basically conclude this a little bit longer podcast episode for my episode 111 because of that direct, so many different announcements, stuff like that. We of course have to go into OT. Not just a little bit though, but yeah, Steven, it's getting late, so let the fine people know where they can find you at, so we can go ahead and hit the sack.
You can find me on Spaghetti Disco on YouTube. I do that with my friends. I'm sorry, I'm getting tired. I can't do this. Um, Twitter at Stephen Junior 1231.
Alrighty, and that's gonna do it in terms of this one episode, my ZardCast episode 111. Though, so if you really like this, you have to be watching this on the YouTube side of things. Make sure you're gonna hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and that bell to stay up to date. All things video game related, I feel like talking about and discussing. And if you haven't been one of the audio only listeners, where you're listening on either YouTube Music, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, yes, you can listen to me in the car, even on iHeartRadio. Then feel free to hit the like button. Just let people know. Just give a short little review. We're just a couple dudes that love talking about anything pop culture related, gaming, and everything else in between, though. So yeah, that's truly gonna do it for this episode, though. So remember, y'all, until our video I make next, until my next ZardCast episode, that being my episode 112. I'll see y'all later.